Hey, tea sippers. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. Come on in. Hey, Beverly. Hey, Naturally, Narlins. It's 8:46 on TV. Where you at, baby? Hey, Aunt Esther. I'm looking at you like, didn't we have some issues yesterday? And here you go. Here you go. Here you go. You mean 7:46 your time? Because it's just 8:28 right now. Yeah. Didn't we have some issues yesterday? Didn't I tell you to come in on your best behavior today? Uh-huh. I had to pause. I'm up here speaking and I'm looking like, I know I've been having one of them days. I know I've been having one of them days. But hey, now, hey, y'all, come on in. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I'm okay, but I'm not okay. So, know what that means. You know, I have to check my own temperature. Temperature. Here recently, here lately. So, no, I don't know how to process me right now. So I got 2 lives set up today. This one, that's gonna chime into Charlie and Tyler and Erika and BB Netanyahu. The same BB Netanyahu, auntie. B that got Trump tripping and shit. Yup. That's him. The same one that got us in the war. The same one that's trying to set up Trump's replacement on the cool with Vance and Kirk ticket. Vance and Kirk's ticket. Where old girl is replacing what her husband was going to be because she is the Mossad of the Kirk family. Yeah, them. Yeah. Tiffany, are you saying what I think you saying? Oh, yeah, baby, it's all for a circle. I thought y'all knew that. I've been saying that for how long? Yeah. They have it all set up. Ain't Erika Kirk a part of Trump's administration now? Didn't they already put out long, right after Charlie Kirk unaliving a Vance Kirk ticket? And then she started rubbing him down and people was looking at that like, Oh, so is that gonna be first lady and and VP turned president type situation? Or is that gonna be a Biden Kamala Harris type situation? What we doing? Yeah, y'all better think about it because they not happy with Trump nor are they happy with Vance. But old girl is a Mossad. I want you to listen with your good ear. She's a Mossad. She already has her brothel. She's already been put out of a Romania military base for trafficking minors. And yeah. So if they do away with Trump and they make this ticket with Vance and Erika Kirk, and since he's not pro-war, they're not gonna let him stay. So where would that be? She gonna be the first Erika Kirk. This is why they was doing these flags half-staffed and shit, treating this man like he was. Now, who was he? Now, where he come from? And what is turning point? I mean, what? Why is he getting this presidential treatment? Yeah, they're going to have it where she going to be the first female president, and she's going to be the Mossad. She's already the Mossad. Now, is this the real Miss Tom? I went ahead and, it was some freaky stuff going on yesterday. Did I? I reset my stuff. Now, is this you, Mrs. Tom? Because I took everybody's mod sticks yesterday, and when I popped in on the lie that you didn't come in, hell, you still had yours. And I was like, how that happened? I don't know what's going on. So I took it again. I need for you to let me know if you the real Miss Tom. And I'll give you back your mod stick. Yeah, so y'all stay woke to that. Y'all stay woke to that. They, Trump on his way out the door. And he messing with the Pope and stuff. Come on, man. And that's the Vatican. And they say that's where all of this stuff stem from. It ain't about... No, he not a Rome. He not from that foreign Vatican. But, he's American, Chicago born and raised. But they say that Pope will get you up out of here real quick, fast, in a hurry. So I just want us to stay woke. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because this is not the live for that. But I'm just telling you to stay woke. Stay woke. Because there's already some Vance Kirk stuff going on. And they about to eliminate Trump. From the presidency. I don't know if they're going to eliminate him. They finna take that ass. They finna move him. Yeah, and they going to say it's medical. And he going to disappear. Not disappear. He going to go off into one of them Antarctics. Now, if y'all want to know where CHARLIEKIRK, if they are still alive, all the people that disappeared, allegedly, I don't think Epstein there, but y'all... I'm beginning to think they got them playing with them aliens on some type of alien form and shit. I messed around the other day before I got tired and saw that 51, Studio 51 or whatever that mess is. I saw alien female whooping her ass off. I said, what? What? These military people down here shooting hoop, with aliens? Now, back in the day, I have to have my nephew come in one day and tell to y'all about how Auntie Feet used to play, not playground, I just in the front yard where they had a hoop. They had like a side little driveway type thing. They had a cement fence right there, And my nephews in the hood used to have where all the homies used to come shoot hoop. And I ain't bragging, I ain't doing none of that type stuff. The truth is just the truth. I'd be out there with my little old shorts on and shit, and I'd just be, It come up off the ground on their ass. Ew, feet forward type shit, like, my butt out. You can't foul, something like that, man. Ain't the shit, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But when I saw this alien, let me see if I can find it, man. I at first I wasn't in no good spirit. I ain't gonna even lie and tell you, man. Baby, when I saw that alien woman and she ain't had no hair, and back there in the day, I used to have, But I said, what type of fracka-nacka bull? They over there hooping with an alien? And this heifer is coming off the ground? Where they do this shit at? Who taught her how to hoop? Is this for real? Oh, Lord. I didn't know if I should be afraid or... I'm trying to find it. This heifer got off the ground and did like a little, I can't watch anything. I was kind of at all. You know, you got to give props. I ain't no hater. You know, I don't know about these aliens and shit. But I was like, what? Studio 54, Studio 51. I mean, is there? I think they knocked me out. I think once I saw that, if I didn't send that to myself, they knocked me out, y'all. Cause I don't remember any. I remember seeing them taking them pictures with them devils. Hold on, I'm trying to get to it. Now, if I don't have it, oh, there it go. They didn't knock me out. I can't lie on them. Okay, I'm gonna cut this little old eerie sound off. But she kind of, Lord, please forgive me. Going back to Mrs. Tommy, maybe black binking. So you want me to wait to give you a Mars stick or give you one now? Y'all, yeah, this may be AI, but I don't know, y'all. This may be AI, and it got that scary little music shit going on. But she kind of look like Celine De Leon. You hear that alien ass music? I'm gonna take my face down because I don't want to be. Yes. Give me, okay. Ooh, y'all see her going up? She got up off the ground. Did she do a crossover? Hold on. I said to myself, y'all, this right here too much. They play too much for me. Look, she, so really this is it back here, but they showing it, they double showing it. She kind of look like Celine Dion, don't she? Oh, don't be playing. Don't be taking. That's my cousin. I ain't claiming none of that. She look like Celine Dion, though. Y'all, my mouth is open. Y'all do know that, right? Look at her. Ooh, shh. Look at. She missed that. Girl, now I cannot hoop you. What type of shoes you got on? She got on black shoes. Or them black Air Force Ones. What? Auntie Phil, you play too much. You play. Ow. She going. She, Girl, you supposed to duck your hands like, let the woo. Oh. Hold on. Before I go over there. Area 51. It said leaked photos claiming to show Roswell aliens playing basketball alongside soldiers inside Area 51 base in Nevada. We playing basketball. Aliens like that basketball. Look here, y'all. Let me show you something else while I'm here. They think they slick. This is in New Jersey.
That is so insane. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Israeli flags and 1 American flag. Welcome to the United States of Israel.
Are they trying to take over?
That is so insane. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Israeli flags and 1 American flag.
Hey, KSL.
Welcome to the United States of Israel. Yeah, like why?
Like that's your cousin. Some black in her to be.
So insane.
She
There's
got some black in her.
6 really
Yeah, y'all
black
see?
and one American flag.
It's in the U.S.
Welcome to the United States of Israel.
They say this is in Jersey.
Why? That is so insane.
I've been having this stuff sitting over here for a day or two. Let me see what else I got. Five celebrities who vanished after exposing the child trafficking ring. Make eyes wide shut. Isaac Cappy. Two years later, he fell off a bridge. No note, no camera. Chester Bennington knew the pain. He sang about talking about saving kids, both 2 months apart, some way. Anthony Bourdain went deep. He felt kids in danger. He was about to name names. In France, no fight, no note, no showstop. Secret stayed hidden. Exposing trafficking. He had real proof. No struggle. The film vanished. The name stayed safe. Ivanka. No. What's her name? Melania. She in trouble. The truth is being erased as you read this. What y'all think? It dang sure rings some truth. I ain't gonna even lie. I didn't send that to the cloud. How did they get sent to the cloud? What attachment is unavailable? They be sure taking good stuff. I ain't gonna even lie. They will take it from me. They are now.
You know you're not.
That's my stuff. Okay, let's see. Which was funniest? Oh, girl hooping. That's some funny crap, man. That's funny. So they trust these aliens. I guess that's the moral to the story. Oh, what's that? We can't beat. I want to show y'all this the one where that guy was talking about Trump neck, baby. Asked what is that meat up under Trump's neck? Is this it?
Has anybody noticed when Trump talks live? Like, look at his eye color.
So strategic. Right now, Greenland is...
You can clearly tell that that's brown, right? Like, look at this one, too. Clearly, his eyes are brown, right? But the weird thing is if you look at any Google image of Trump, it'll show... Has anybody noticed when Trump talks live? Like, look...
No, we done talked about this, y'all.
Greenland is...
You can clearly tell that that's brown, right? Like, look at this one too. Clearly his eyes are brown, right? But the weird thing is if you look at any Google image of Trump, it'll show his eyes as blue, almost like the original Trump. Now I know that's concerning, but let's look at his neck. You see that? What is that cord in his neck? That reptilian cord? That ain't no regular neck. What the fuck is that? That's because he's a reptilian. Now the crazy thing is they have shown us that these reptilians are real. They put proof everywhere, like in statues, stickers, logos. They literally show it to you, and that's because they have to show you the truth. Now here's where it really starts to get interesting. In Revelations 8 through 9, it talks about the 7 trumpets, and each trumpet having some sort of significance over the earth. But let's go over Revelations 9, 7 through 11, because this describes the appearance of the locust, or the reptilians. And their faces resembled human faces. Their hair was like woman's hair, and their teeth were like
Maybe
lions'
it's in,
teeth. They had
do you
tails with
use
stingers like
incognito?
scorpions. And they had as a king
You probably
over
are
them,
in
angel of the abyss,
incognito
whose name
under
in
that
Hebrew was
other
Abaddon,
account, Mrs. Khan.
Abaddon. Guys, there is a reason Trump is the president. Every word has significance. They put the proof in the pudding. Trump is supposed to be the one. Has anybody noticed when Trump talks live? Like, look at his eye color.
so strategic. Right now, Greenland is...
You can clearly tell that that's brown, right? Like, look at this one too. Clearly his eyes are brown,
I
right?
told
But
y'all
the
it's
weird
more
thing
than
is,
one
if
of
you look
him.
at any Google image of Trump, it'll show his eyes as blue, almost like the original Trump. Now I know that's concerning, but let's look at his neck. You see that? What is that cord in his neck? That reptilian cord? That ain't no regular neck. What the fuck is that? That's because he's a reptilian. Now the crazy thing is they have shown...
He said that ain't no regular neck. That is not no
Does
regular.
anybody notice when Trump talks live? Like, look at his... Look at this one too. Clearly his eyes are brown, right? But the weird thing is if you look at any Google image of Trump, it'll show
It's the
his
neck.
eyes
What's
as
that?
blue,
What's
almost
that?
like the original Trump. Now I know that's concerning, but let's look at his neck. You see that? What is that cord in his neck? That reptilian cord? That ain't no regular neck. What the fuck is that? That's because he's a reptilian. Now the crazy thing is they have shown us that these reptilians are real. They put proof everywhere, like in statues, stickers, logos. They literally show it to you, and that's because they have to show you the truth. Now here's where it really starts to get interesting.
They do.
In Revelations 8 through 9, it talks about the 7 trumpets, and each trumpet having some sort of significance over the earth. But let's go over Revelations 9, 7 through
That's
11.
the only
because
thing it
this
could be.
describes the appearance of the locust, or the reptilians. And their faces
I don't have you
resembled human
blocked.
faces. Their hair was like woman's hair, and their teeth were like lion's teeth. They had tails with stingers like scorpions. And they had as a king over them the angel of the abyss, whose name in Hebrew was Abaddon. Abaddon. Guys, there is a reason Trump is the president. Every word has significance. They put the proof in the pudding. Trump is supposed to be the wartime president, and that is literally why everything is crumbling and getting so intense right now. Now back to Revelations. In Revelations 18, this entire section covers the fall of Babylon. And basically the core message of this is saying that the powerful, corrupt system of Babylon is suddenly going to collapse, and the people who depended on it are not going to know what to do. So Babylon pretty much becomes a place of abandonment and a place of darkness and judgment. And if you're still confused saying, well, Babylon isn't America, check this out. This is a book, Oriental Masonry. It's a Freemason book. In America, rediscovered in the 15th century and repopulated in the 17th, was recovered Egypt and the Promised Land, or the land of the constellation of the eagle. Prehistoric America was the original Egypt, or Eagle Land, and it also talks about the Nile and the people of the eagle. And that is self-explanatory. Who has the eagle? America and even Mexico. It's the Eagle Land. And this is why Trump continues to keep talking about Greenland, because they are on their way out. They are no longer allowed to keep tormenting the people of the land. This is the end of the 6,000-year curse. The reptiles are real. America is Assyria or Babylon. If you found any of this helpful or insightful, follow for more. I love you guys. Peace. Has anybody noticed when Trump talks live? Like, look
what y'all think about that neck? We done talked about that eye, and we call that neck gooble, you know, like blubber. But never have I, you know, attached the. I know he's a reptilian, but not the neck.
That's concerning. But let's look at
that
his
neck right here. Yeah, that right there. Ooh wee. What in the world is going on with that neck? What is that pipeline right there? At first, I thought they was entering through the eyes. Now, all of a sudden, it's something about that neck. Neck work, you gotta work that neck.
Right now, Greenland is.
You can clearly tell that that's brown.
Woo!
Like, look at this one too. Clearly his eyes are brown, right? But the weird thing is if you look at any Google image of Trump, it'll show his eyes as blue.
Oh, it's something about that neck. Network. Network. You better work that neck. Baby. I had to give little bro. I had to give Miss Proud. He said, she. What in the world is that? Baby. Something ain't right with that. I mean, some freaky, nasty ass guy be like, ooh, that look like a camel. You know, that look like what them call them, camel. You know, the girl that got them monkey necks and monkey, whatever they be calling that shit down now. Yeah. Some old freaking nasty fella. That toe, yeah, that camel toe. Some old freaking nasty fella make that out of a whole camel toe and be thinking about what they, but baby, something's coming up right here in between them lips. Oh, is that the person? I don't know. But some freaking nasty fellas, since they are freaky and nasty.
The case against Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal is on
stop!
life
Don't be
support.
coming on. We'll be talking about camels and shit on these devils. Yeah, but what? No, not working. I'll work on it. Okay, yeah, cause I checked yesterday, and it's not on my end. So the blockage, and even when I went to your page, your name, it gave me the opportunity to hide you. So that means that I have not hidden you, because it would have said unhide. So it's not something that was done on my end. It looked like it may be something that you blocked me. Or maybe you blocked, I don't know. I ain't gonna try to, I did what I tried to do, but if you gonna stay on that other page, then cool. You just change that name. I don't know. Unless you was trolling and you came under somebody else's name, under another troll name, and I blocked that troll name, and it's still tied to you. I mean, that happens sometimes. If you was trolling somewhere and you came over, I don't know. I'm just saying I didn't do it under Mrs. Tom. Now, if you have a troll name, you may need to inbox me your troll name. Or is you trying to get one off on the code? Well, okay, so back to this pussy. I mean, this coochie neck. Yeah. Some old nasty pervert will be saying, ooh, boy, what I could put in between them lips right there. But when young blood right here said, that's that reptilian thing, I said, oh, now, because I caught it with the eyes.
Original Trump. Now, I know that's concerning.
I caught it
Let's
with
look
the
at his
eyes.
neck.
I caught it with the eyes. But I didn't catch that entry with the neck. So I'm gonna holler, oh, hell no. I can't say it. I knew you would pop out. Deep throat. Ain't that what y'all call that shit? He got a deep throat. God damn, you know, fantasizing. it never fails. I could be coming in on one spirit, and man, I tell you, I am so thankful to God that I could laugh at myself, boy. I tell you, some of this stuff be real good. It feels good to me. And it'll make me laugh at myself, baby.
Right now, Greenland is...
Has anybody seen that
Now, I know
neck?
that's concerning, but let's look at his neck.
That neck, I'm trying to catch it where... That,
Right now, Greenland...
Now, I know that's
yeah, look at that. Boy, look at them lips on that neck.
Yeah, that 10.
Look at the lips
$10
on that
lawsuit
neck. Baby, ooh, wait. Them type of lips that'll grab you. Want it, it'll grab that thing. But hey, Auntie P, we never know with these folks out here. They're now, because, they some different type of freakazoids. They not real people. They not real. And the shit that we deep throat, the stuff that we used to, they incorporating, recreating some shit we just ain't never heard or did before. That's why I don't do all that freaky phone talk shit. I need you here. I don't want to show nothing on no phone. I ain't doing nothing. Man mess around and tell me, let me see what your neck, let me see what your neck skin. Can you make that? Ooh, do you have a gap? You have a gap in your neck. I mean, what? Ooh, I can imagine what I can do to your neck. What? What? I'm done. Well, pull your neck together. Yeah, make that motherfucker pop. God damn, what I do to that neck. That's the type of phone sex and shit y'all doing now. It's necking. Y'all necking? Oh, you don't like showing your coochie on Facebook. Show me, pull that neck together. Shit, god damn. And then he over there playing with himself off of your neck. What? With the lights on. Nailed that. Yeah, man, get home, say, man, I get home, I am going shit out your neck. It's messed up when your neck lips is bigger and more entertaining, more sexy than your Gucci lips. Man, I'm not finna be in competition with no man off of his neck lips. I'm just not. Baby, they just take they freaky shit to a whole nother level. I mean, it just shames the average person. Hell, we thought we was freaky. These motherfuckers right here, they on some different type of freaky, huh? They fucking necks and shit, I look at that gap in between that neck, baby.
Has anybody noticed when Trump talks
Let me get
live,
off of Trump.
look at his eyes.
I don't want y'all saying Auntie be jealous.
You can clearly tell that that's brown, right? Now, look at this one too. Clearly his eyes are brown, right? But the weird thing is if you look at any Google image of Trump, it'll show his eyes.
Oh, baby. What? You don't get what? Boy, I was finna say something real ugly about that in between. That's just too close, Not the titty action, in between the titties and shit. Yeah, I say fuck them titties. Oh, I want to go up in that neck. What? The titties ain't working? You don't want to go up in between the titties? fell to the side. They don't sit up no more. So now that they land, now you got a clear vision, and you just gonna slide, you gonna bypass the floppy ass titties and just go to the neck. Is that what you telling me? I can put my arm to the. I can push them together. I can make them tight. Nah, fuck that. I done seen that neck. God damn. You don't want me to squeeze them together? Y'all know I ain't right. Y'all know I ain't right. And so, now somebody over there trying to squeeze their titties together. Cause y'all gonna be getting booty tonight, and she gonna squeeze her titties together. Now that I done said something about squeezing them titties together, you know, make them feel like they still sitting up on their own and shit, and, you know, make it squeezing them tight so it'll be hard for him to get up in there. Y'all gonna be doing that shit tonight. Make sure y'all come back. If you got you one off, y'all make sure y'all send me some jewels and gems. Oh, Auntie over here giving, you know, on the cool. She trying to give out some how to keep your man happy on the cool. Like, you know, Auntie, you make me sick. You just be, you know. You don't get to my age and not have no tricks, baby. You just don't do that. You just said that's just not how that goes. Yeah, nah. You can play all prim and proper if you want to, but you don't make it to my age and not done some freaky shit before. Okay. Nancy, okay. Clenching my purse. Who me? Oh, never would I. What? Meat, moochie, meaty moose knuckles, baby, ain't the meaty? Woo, baby, like you can, ooh, baby. And you know some freaky dude be like, tighten it, can you tighten it? Can you, all in your ear like, oh, yeah, can you tighten them motherfuckers? God damn. And then next thing you know, you got shit all up on your eyelashes and in your hair and all over the place. You got that juice. You know, you got that ice and 60 plus. Who's 60? Oh, you 60 plus over here. She said, hey. Hey, baby. She said, I am a seasoned woman and I play no games. My milkshake brought all them boys to the yard, baby. Woo! Let me get on for somebody start saying Auntie Fee a freak.
This is blue, almost like the original Trump. Now I know that's concerning.
Look at that.
Look at his neck. Do you see that? What is that cord in
What
his neck?
is that cord?
Reptilian cord.
Oh my God, with your finger.
That's because he's a reptilian. Now the crazy
Captain
thing is
Walter,
they have
is
shown
that,
these
are you, who are
reptilians
you?
real. They put proof everywhere, like in statues, stickers, logos. They literally show it to you, and that's because they have to show you the truth. Now here's where it really starts to get interesting. In Revelations 8 through 9, it talks about the 7 trumpets.
Okay, I don't want to hear about that. Let's get on to the show, y'all. Let's get on to the show. Reptilian, you be like, okay, so where can I purchase that? I mean, you know, do they have like, you know, but, okay, well, let me give you a stick, because you under that name. Can you go back to the other Miss Tom name? I don't want that name up there like that. But let me give you your stick before you say something crazy, and I think that you trying, and I don't know who you are, because, you know. There you go. Between you and Remy. Baby Remy, new song. Oh, I have to give it up to Remy. Remy Ma did that. Now, I don't like how she did Papoose. I ain't gonna. But that song, she dropped the mic on all of that. I ain't gonna even lie. I ain't gonna even lie. Bad to the BONE, baby. Bad to the bone. Y'all ready? Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's get
In
this.
breaking news, Donald Trump's defamation case against Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal is on life support. Yeah, that $10 billion lawsuit filed
They got
in the
kicked out.
Southern District of Florida because the federal judge there, Judge Gales, after
All right,
sitting
let me
on
see
the
your neck.
order for the
What
last
your neck
5 or
do?
6 months.
Judge, let me see what
right
your
after
neck. Now
Malone-
y'all got me looking at these
for
men
the
neck.
last 5 or 6
What's
months.
your net worth?
After sitting on the order for the last 5 or 6 months, good timing. Right after Melania gave a press conference denying any involvement with Epstein. Epstein is back in the news with Judge Gale's 17-page order. He has given Donald Trump one last chance, 2 weeks at best, to try again and file yet another complaint. It'll be his last one to properly allege an element of defamation that's required when you're a
You're
public
welcome.
figure. That is actual malice. That's a term of art.
That
comes
is
out of a
his
case
neck,
called New York
Dorothy.
Times versus Sullivan
Yeah, don't
in the
do that. That has
1960s.
been his neck. We just, you know, I don't know. Yeah, that has been his neck. Yeah, he been having a triple deck neck. But yeah, boy just broke it down. I knew the eyes was an issue. I had spotted the eyes. But they say he have 7 different clones with 7 different personalities and attitudes. More than one eye color. I checked that out. But that neck, and he showed that reptilian with that little gap thing. He just as good as Uck. Yeah. He been
I'll
that
give you a
neck been
teachable
exposed.
moment now and I think I'll explain, having done defamation cases.
Let me go back to the
I think
judge.
he's
Y'all, we gonna have
5 or
to
6
neck
months.
check him.
Good timing, right after Melania, District of Florida, because the federal judge there.
Now that nose kind of long, so that's why I'm looking. What your neck do? What your eyes do? We checking you out, Judge. What you on? Okay, Judge. Turn around. Turn around, Judge. We need to turn that ass around. We need to see what you're working with. Judge, you're now. They keep turning Trump down. We see you. Yeah, but I ain't quick to just give you some applause. I need to see what your network do. What you doing? Turn around. Oh, you can't turn around. Okay, well, carry on, Your Honor. Carry on.
Judge Gales, after sitting on the order for the last 5 or 6 months, good timing, right after Melania gave a press conference denying any involvement with Epstein.
Not a
Epstein
bot.
is back in the news with Judge Gale's 17-page order. He has given Donald Trump one last chance, 2 weeks at best, to try again and file yet another complaint. It'll be his last one to properly allege an element of defamation that's required when you're a public
What song?
figure. That is actual malice. That's a term of art that comes out of a case called New York Times versus Sullivan in the 1960s. I'll give you a teachable moment now and I think I'll explain, having done defamation cases. I think he's going to have a very hard time making out that standard. If that's the case, game over, case over, motion to dismiss just granted without prejudice. And as to attorney's fees, which are substantial, that the other side, the Rupert Murdoch side, is seeking, the judge says, not yet. I'll take it under advisement. Let's see what happens in the next go-around. I'm Michael Popak. This all stems from that 2-volume birthday scrapbook that Ghislaine Maxwell admits that she created, a leather-bound tome. Those 2 volumes, if they say the Bible launched more ships around the world, that 2-volume set has cratered more careers of predators because of their connections with Epstein than anything else I know. Every other page had some famous, infamous person in there, in academia, in business, in the royalty, in the government around the world, rich people, all who got brought down and brought to justice because of the disclosure that they were in this scrapbook, many of them writing borderline pornographic or inappropriate or obscene material. Donald Trump, if you go to, I'm making it up now off the top of my head, but if you go to volume 2, page 253, we've actually published the entire book on Legal AF Substack. You will find a outline, we'll put a picture of it up here, an outline that claims to be Donald Trump, signed by somebody signing Donald Trump's name, of an outline of a woman who's naked with the pubic hair as Donald Trump's signature. Oh yes, with some poem about Jeffrey Epstein being an enigma and having dark secrets. Okay, now look, I'm not here to claim that Donald Trump created that himself with a pen. Claims to be Donald Trump, signed by somebody signing Donald Trump's name, of an outline of a woman who's naked with the pubic hair as Donald Trump's signature. Oh yes, with some poem about Jeffrey Epstein being an enigma and having dark secrets. Okay, now look, I'm not here to claim that Donald Trump created that himself with a pen.
Hey, Monty.
But it's more likely than not, based on the allegations and based on the report.
I'm glad you wasn't in here when I was cutting up.
Since 2010,
Y'all know
World
on
Central Kitchen
TV,
has
y'all,
served millions of meals in response to climate
Somebody
change,
made me do
humanitarian
it.
disasters.
And so let me get Donald Trump's theory straight. Somebody 25 years ago thought he'd be president one day, and so they forged a submission, had it glued into volume 2. He didn't even make volume 1. Volume 2 of the book, to embarrass him and defame him in the future. Some time traveling liberal media. I just don't understand it. Of course, Judge Gales did.
We got Bobby
Now, the good part
Head
about this case is I happen to know
in
a
this
couple of the players. I
administration.
know Judge Gales
Bobby
very well.
Head.
I appeared in front of him.
The head
in
moves
Miami-Dade
forward,
Circuit Court when
not
he was
just
there. I supported his
they
campaign
forward more
when he needed
motion.
to get reelected or retained. And I know Andy Levander because I've hired him for cases of mine involving companies that I represented in New York, who represents Dow Jones. Now, I thought Andy had a very, very interesting attack. They went after it with a motion to dismiss. They said a few things. One, what we published about the birthday book is true. How do we know that? Because a month later, the House Oversight Committee published the book, got it from the Epstein estate, and published the book. And everything we said about the cartoon and Donald Trump's signature and the page it was on is true. And that's the ultimate defense to a defamation case. Now, we're on a motion to dismiss posture. At the very beginning of a case, there's an initial pleading. That's called the complaint.
Let me sit
And
up.
when you get it and you're on the other side, you're on the defense
go.
side, you can move to dismiss. And it has to get through the pleading standards of federal court in this case, which are contained in the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. When it comes to actual malice, which is an element of defamation that a public figure has to allege,
I want to do.
and you have to allege facts.
Do y'all want me to do? I'm asking. I don't know why I'm asking, because I know which one y'all gonna say. Y'all want me to do a super chat goal for the first hour, or the gems every 30 minutes? The gems are the super chat, super sticker. Miss Nolan, I bet a lot of freaky things go on in his neck of the woods. You right, especially during that Bohemian Grove stuff. Yeah. Damn it, lady. Woo! I was clowning about Trump in that neck. Them coochie. He got a coochie neck. He got them moose knuckles necks. Can't figure it out. Y'all not saying nothing. Y'all don't. I need the super chat. Any color. So that means any amount. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all, never mind, I ain't gonna say that now. And I'm talking about super chat or super stick. I ain't gonna say that. Where my teacup? There, I just said to go. Super gifts and super chat. I can only choose one or the other. So I'm gonna start this way first. There go my goal. Y'all please help me reach my goal. Thank you. Oh, look at all them cups of tea. Let's go, y'all.
Facts in your complaint, at least prima facie argument, that the media company, in this case Wall Street Journal, either knew that the birthday card submission was not Donald Trump's or published it with reckless disregard of whether it was true or false. And the main argument that Donald Trump has for that is, I told Rupert Murdoch it was false, so they were on notice. That's actual malice, right? The judge says, I'll read it to you, says, no, not even close. But you have to prove all of that.
There go my first one. Thank you, Belinda. I'm here to ride.
For instance, in a defamation case, everything I
Thank you, baby. There we go. Thank you, Belinda.
Argue, which I don't think
Thank you, Belinda, is starting us off with the first super sticker, super chat, super sticker. $5. I'm here for the ride and the tea and the jokes. Yeah, that's the cream and sugar. Yes, and then Haunty. I saw a message here. I got Auntie Fee tonight. Let's go, Monty. Why they hide that one? Naturally, Narlands. Let's go, baby. Let's go. She said, looking with both my good eyes, I'm going to be in the welfare line. No, you ain't. You know you ain't. We ain't gonna even speak that. No, we don't even talk. You are snared by the words of your mouth. Thou art taken by the words of that mouth. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to be in the rich and bougie line with humble. Let's put humble in front. Humble, rich and bougie. How about that? I speak that into existence. Okay? Hit the like button. She sent some gems too. Thank you, Belinda. Hey, Robert. Let's go, y'all. Ooh, the laughing disco. She said, did you say laugh? We gonna laugh the night away. Yeah, we gonna laugh the night away. There you go. Thank you for the laughing disco. I dig that. Let's go.
Right, which was to show that Donald Trump is incapable of being defamed because his reputation is in the toilet by his own words and conduct. In other words, how do you defame a judge sex abuser? How do you defame somebody
Thank you,
who said they were going to grab a woman by her genitalia?
I'm visible.
How do you defame somebody where dozens of women have claimed they've been physically assaulted? How do you defame somebody who tells Iran to go F themselves, etc., etc.?
Imagine being
I saw that earlier. I saw you
just
with
by
that
thinking
one.
about it.
That's when I was talking to you.
But I love that from
I saw that one earlier.
I didn't think it was a winner on the motion to dismiss, and that's not what the judge relied on. But it's a very good way to frame your argument when you deal with Donald Trump. When we talk about the most underrated
memberships,
organ in your body, your liver.
Because I like that blue by your name.
Functions every day, filtering unwanted
hey, Joe.
elements, supporting digestion.
Let me go. I take dose too, y'all. Get your liver right. Take dose.
Dose for your liver is a clinically backed liver health
I do
supplement.
take dose, y'all. Get your liver right. We got our bath. We got our plant-based bath working with a method. And now beyond, it's method. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I got my bath water ran over there. In one of these long ones, I'm going to hop my butt in the tub. But I do take dose. I think I bought a 12-pack or something. They're not going to kill us. They're not going to take us out. Hold on while he doing a commercial.
Also alleged he didn't make out actual malice. All he did was some sort of boilerplate, conclusory allegations. Well, there was actual malice when they published it. You got to do more than that. You got to do better than that under the standards that apply. And then they argued that he's not just arguing for defamation per se, which is you accused me of a loathsome disease, immorality,
oh, no, I just
crime,
did not smell it.
etc. And I've been injured, even if it's $1, I get to maintain my suit. He's sued under defamation per quad, meaning
so he losing it. So this old boy, he has a ton of knowledge.
So whoever's walking around with a
I just want y'all to be I want y'all to be full of knowledge. I promise I do.
So whoever's walking around with a jab, they got a little bit of Epstein in them. No way. Epstein is main funder of the mRNA, and Bill Gates, Fauci, and what he did was he put a little bit of his own genetic code in each one of the jabs.
What?
Yeah.
How did he pull that off?
It's all in the files, man. He was doing experiments and funding that CRISPR and that mRNA technology back in the day. And he said in the same document that he wanted to have his code in all of it. So that anytime anybody injects, they got a piece of him inside of them.
Is that his consciousness being transferred, or what exactly?
Just a little code. It's a little ego thing, you know? How much of an effect is it going to have on a person? Who knows? But for him, consciously, it's like, I'm in everybody.
Right.
Like every single person's out here, I'm inside of it, you know?
Half the population.
Right. Sick. So whoever's walking around with a jab,
Man, that messes me up. And he was nasty, and he was a sick freak.
And Bill Gates, Fauci, and what he did
All
was
of
he
'em.
put a little bit of his own genetic code in each one of the jabs.
What?
Yeah.
How did he pull that off?
It's all in the files, man. He was doing experiments and funding that CRISPR and that mRNA technology back in the day. And he said in the same document that he wanted to have his code in all of it. So that anytime anybody injects, they got a piece of him inside of them.
Is that his consciousness being transferred, or what exactly?
Just a little code. It's a little ego thing, you know? How much of an effect is it going to have on a person? Who knows? But for him,
Ain't that messed up? They just all in our face, playing with our lives, our DNA, you know. It'll make you want to just headbutt him. I ain't lying. Real hard. You know, who you think you are, you mad scientist, you sick, freaky. Let's go on to the next one. I'm trying not to go there. But before we get to Candace, I got one more stop. Is this it? No, I got one more stop. And then I got it already set up, so it won't be we gonna roll into it rightly.
Outstanding. The one that you...
Does your internet bill keep getting higher? That's because typical internet deals are full of surprises. At Google Fiber, there's no install fees.
Scott Ritter is the man for this kind of time, where it is vital to understand military matters.
I'm shifting
Scott
gears.
Ritter is the man for this kind of time, where it is vital to understand military matters and their crossover with political matters, which is more or less all the time now. Scott Ritter,
You buying what
former
same
US
thing?
Marine Corps intelligence officer, a former
Natural
arms
knowledge.
inspector,
Billy Carson
with
is a
the
fraud.
United Nations, and a man that I have been following for a very long
Yeah,
time.
they sick.
As many sensible people are now all over the world. Scott, thanks
Next
for
time you
joining us
talk
at
about
this
something,
auspicious
Tell me
moment.
I will put
Let's start
the
at
phone
the
down.
beginning.
Next time
of the
you
restart.
talk about something,
Were you surprised at
The blood of
failure
Jesus
the talks
cleans
in
me.
Islamabad?
No, I mean, first of all, the talks aren't.
yeah, but Gloria, baby, the blood still works. Absolutely, but you may want to detox. You still may want to detox. Yeah. I'm just saying, you still may want to get that jab up out of you. They put some intentional stuff into a lot of people body at a certain time that they decide to designate or flip the switch, gonna start having some crazy stuff going on within their body. So just go ahead and detox. The blood still works for all of him who he believed, but I don't want an issue of blood. I don't want to have no leprosy. I don't want to have nothing ailing my body artificially. But I definitely believe in the work of the blood. It still works. Yeah, a lot of stuff we eat, we don't even know what we're eating. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how corrupt these people really are.
Over. This is a process, and I'm not surprised that the United States came in crudely, rudely, lewdly.
And it's so intentional.
And, pulled a stunt.
when you hear about what the Iranians did, how well prepared they were, how they had, technical papers,
Yeah,
talking
and if
points.
you are growing in your garden, which Lord, one day I hope I'm able to do so, make sure you have a protective shield cover over it, because they spraying in the air. And they regulating water. They playing with the water in the clouds and all of that type of stuff. They spraying toxics in the air to push this narrative of controlling you, unaliving you, depopulation, all of that on purpose. They going through some extreme measures. Think about that.
They were ready to work with the United States to come up with a solution to every problem. The United States was not. This is typical Donald Trump. Show up, bluster, pound the
greenhouse,
table,
yeah.
walk away, as if this is a New York State, a New York City real estate deal, and those people are going to be desperately calling you back, trying to, lower the the fee. The Iranians aren't playing that game, of course, but even as J.D. Vance left and the senior Iranians left, both sides left technical teams behind who were working on technical details. So the talks are very much ongoing. And until which time we see missiles flying and bombers flying, the ceasefire will hold. It's a 2-week ceasefire. The ceasefire has not been terminated. And so this is a process. This is
Awesome.
the
You
theater
built
of the absurd.
everything.
It's a very dangerous
Way to go,
game because it can
K-Cell.
spin out of control at any minute. I think Donald Trump, once again, is just being foolish. He really doesn't have the cards to be playing. This kind of high stakes poker. But that's who he is, and I think the Iranians know who he is. They haven't budged. They know where they can go. They know what they want to accomplish. The thing is, the United States has no clue what it wants to accomplish because we haven't even taken the time to get into the details. When the president says he wants a hard commitment from the Iranians not to produce a nuclear bomb, he already has it. He killed the man who put the fatwa on the table. I mean, what an idiot this person is. And the Iranians have not reversed that fatwa. And indeed, had he sent some true experts, not Jared Kushner, not Witkoff, and certainly not J.D. Vance, at least not J.D. Vance unless it's backed up with genuine thinking people, we could have sat down with the Iranians and shut the door on any potential of Iran ever producing a nuclear weapon. This is the easiest deal in the world to make, but we're not there to make that deal. We're here to create the impression that the United States is in charge, that the United States won this war. Because this is what it's all about, George. This is about Donald Trump's political legacy. This is about Donald Trump continuing to cement the notion that he's a winner, that everything's the hottest it's ever been. Because if we deal with the actual facts, Donald Trump's one of the biggest losers ever to walk the face of the earth. This is a humiliation that's taken place for the United States. The greatest military power in the world could not bring to their knees the nation of Iran. Now, we all know why that is, and the Iranians have a lot to be proud of. But, you don't walk around claiming to be the best of the best. You can talk the talk, but unless you can walk the walk, you better not talk the talk. And Donald Trump better learn to keep his mouth shut, because what Iran has done to the United States and
all over the Epstein files.
Them badly.
Well, if there was any issue that could have been more easily solved than this issue of the nuclear bomb, it was the Straits of Hormuz, which I keep reminding everyone were never blocked until Donald Trump launched a war which got them blocked. Now we've got a proposal for a blockade of the blockade, which is blockading a strait that was never blockaded before. That really is the theater of the absurd. How's that going to work?
States and Israel is to humiliate them badly.
Well, if there was any issue that could have been more easily solved than this issue of the nuclear bomb, it was the Straits of Hormuz, which I keep reminding everyone were never blocked until Donald Trump launched a war which got them blocked. Now we've got a proposal for a blockade of the blockade, which is blockading a strait that was never blockaded before. that really is the theater of the absurd. How's that going to work, Scott?
Well, I don't know if it will work at all because, first of all, a blockade is an act of war. So if you're in the middle of a ceasefire and you decide to commit a blockade, it's the same as launching a bombing raid on Iran. It's an act of war, so it's the end of the ceasefire. Second of all, the last time I checked, there are Chinese and Russian tankers that transit. I don't know if Donald Trump's really ready to have that kind of fight with the Chinese and the Russians right now. Again, this is man whose mouth just goes. They really need to remove him from all ability to access social media. They need to put Sebastian Gorka in jail. They need to put Stephen Miller in jail. They need to get responsible people around him so that when he communicates on policy issues, it's done only after, he has, consulted with experts and they have hammered out a consensus statement. Donald Trump's the worst thing that's happened to American foreign policy, American national security policy, because he gets so far ahead of the game that he's just living in never land. We aren't in a position to launch a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. We would be declaring war on the world. I mean, he does understand that Kuwaiti oil flows through there, United Arab Emirates oil flows, Saudi oil flows through there, Bahraini oil, Qatar. I mean, what kind of brain-dead moron is this president to, think that, simply by saying something it is so? The
Taco
Iranian
Trump.
Navy,
Hi,
by the way, I want to
Anonymous.
remind everybody that the Navy is alive and well and living. Not only mined certain channels in the Strait of Hormuz after Pete Hegseth said they no longer exist.
Y'all please hit the like
The last
button.
time I checked, it was the Iranian Navy
I think that
on the
blockade
radio
will be
with
the
two
death
American
trap
destroyers
for
telling
the
them that
U.S.
if you don't
I
turn
hope
around,
it's
we
not
will
the
sink you.
death
This is
death
the
trap for
Iranian Navy
U.S. I
that's
hope it's the
destroyed,
death trap for
doesn't
Trump.
exist. They control the Strait of Hormuz. And the other thing is, where is this blockade going to take place? Because you're not going to be bringing your ships close to the strait. You'll lose all your ships that way. So this blockade, is going to retreat into the Indian Ocean, into open seas, international waterways, and you're going to run a blockade there. Good luck, Donald Trump. I mean, at some point in time, even Pete Hegseth has to turn to him and say, Mr. President, you're dumber than dirt.
Dumber than
I
dirt.
wouldn't count on it. But the president who said all this was last night at a UFC fight, MMA fight, in Florida, where he was roundly booed, by the way. But with him was your Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Isn't he nominally in charge of foreign affairs?
Nominally. That is the appropriate word, nominally. He is selectively in charge of those things that he
At
is
that
given
nominally.
permission to get involved in. I mean, this has to be, I'm not a big Marco Rubio
Anonymally.
fan, but, he is the Secretary of State, so he has a portfolio. But when you're
Where
the
he
Secretary of
at?
State
Him or
with
she
the
at?
malignant narcissist named Donald Trump, you have no portfolio. All portfolios belong to Donald Trump, and you only get the tidbits that he throws out at you. But in this case, I think Marco Rubio might be grateful that he's at the MMA and not being thrown away to the wolves like J.D. Vance is. It'd be one thing if you sent a negotiator who could actually close the deal. George, I'm here to tell you, I'm not the greatest diplomat that ever walked the face of the earth. I could have closed the deal last night that would have been a win for the United States. An absolute victory for Donald Trump. He could have walked away with the reputation of being a deal maker, a peacemaker, and all that. The Iranians are not impossible to work with. They are looking for a deal. They know what when they say they're red lines. Remember these red.
Thank you. Be Rich gave me the ASMR days. Oh yes, and I'm gonna go hop into some hot water, hibiscus and island fruit. Yeah, and I'm gonna get some relaxation. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you.
Red lines are very broad brush red lines. These aren't, narrow. The Iranians are not impossible to work with. They are looking for a deal. They know what they're, when they say they're red lines, remember these red lines are very broad brush red lines. These aren't, narrow strands of titanium. These are concepts that, there's a lot of maneuver room in there if you actually know what you're doing. But here's the other thing too. Marco Rubio is the head of a department that he himself has gutted. You know, the State Department today is a shadow of its former self. He is a Secretary of State, but he doesn't have the team that we need to be doing this. There used to be a day and age when we had a phone
We
book in
not
the State
slow over
Department, and every
here,
phone number had
Auntie
an
T.
expert, an honest-to-God expert
Have
on
us
the
on
other end.
top
You
of
could pick them up
everything
and
is
get
wrong time.
answers. They could form
Absolutely,
teams. They
absolutely
could form
importance.
agency working groups,
Yeah.
interagency working groups. They could come up with ideas, concepts. That's gone. Right now, all you have is Donald Trump's gut feeling. And I don't want to say too much about his gut, but any feeling that
Yep,
comes
we
out
be
of it
on
isn't
it.
something
We
I
be
want to
way
be
ahead of the
particularly
game.
enamored of.
You don't
We
want to be down-witted,
definitely
but
what
that
they
is
say 10
for
10
sure,
steps ahead.
according to eyewitnesses or nose witnesses these days. But that was really my point, Scott. Wasn't this deliberate suicide mission on which J.D. Vance was sent? When I saw the pictures from the MMA last night in Florida, it looked pretty clear
Thank
to
you,
me
Monty.
that Trump is anointing Rubio and ditching Vance. And thus Vance was sent on a mission that he was designed to fail.
100%. I mean, J.D. Vance made a mistake of, speaking out behind closed doors. He's been a loyal vice president. We have to give him all the credit in the world. Publicly, he's been supportive of this president, but it is clear that J.D. Vance did not support this war. And now it's been clear that J.D. Vance has been shown to have been largely correct. And you can't be correct in Donald Trump's circle. He's not somebody who appreciates you being right, him being wrong.
Right.
And so what
He
Donald
can't
Trump
handle
is
that.
now doing is destroying the J.D. Vance brand. And it's a shame that America is witnessing, one of the most critical national security moments in modern history. Literally, George, this is what I call an empire-terminating event. The consequences of the failure of the United States and Iran go well beyond the Middle East region. They go into Europe. They go into Asia. This is, it has accelerated the collapse of the empire, across the board. And, Donald Trump right now is a man who has sacrificed the reputation of the country for his branding, the Trump branding. And branding is just all about, selling himself as the greatest, the best, the everything. To have J.D. Vance there, it's like having somebody saying, I was right, he was wrong. Nobody's allowed to say that around Donald Trump. Only Donald Trump's allowed to be right. So now Donald Trump is about to make J.D. Vance wrong. He's going to say that J.D. Vance couldn't close the deal, but now I'm going to send somebody in. Like I said, we have 2 weeks. And I do believe there will be a deal because Donald Trump doesn't have any options. I heard one of your callers talk about,
y'all help me reach my super chat.
What missiles are we reloading?
Super sticker
haven't built
go.
them yet. The same deficiency in stocks that we had when the ceasefire began exists today. There's been
Please.
no change in that reality. Just because we had a couple days where bombs aren't falling doesn't mean that American shipping suddenly has a magic aura thrust about it that makes them invincible to Iranian missiles. We cannot project power into the region. It's over. We lost this war. There's nothing that can happen that changes that calculus. Iran still has its missiles. Moreover, they're reconstituting even more missiles. They're getting stronger, whereas the United States is simply treading water. Donald Trump knows this. If this war resumes, it'll resume with a vengeance that'll punish Israel even harsher and the United States and their Gulf Arab allies even more. The Gulf Arab states are in a panic right now, an absolute panic, because they now know that the United States cannot protect them. And they also know that Donald Trump's words especially can't protect them. And so this next 2 weeks, you're going to see, by the end, in my opinion, by the end of this negotiating period, Donald Trump's going to make a deal, but it's going to be a deal that makes Donald Trump the winner, J.D. Vance the loser. I don't think he's going to be promoting little Marco too much. He's just, Marco's just a tool. Everybody needs to understand that Donald Trump will throw everybody under the bus.
I
There
believe
is
that.
nobody who's safe when it comes to Donald Trump and his ego. He will not allow anybody to outshine him. And so that's where we're at right now. He is desperate to come out of this a winner, moving into the summer political season right before the November midterm elections, trying to win over an American public that has lost lost confidence in this
Ain't
man. This
nothing
con
he could
man
do
can no longer con.
that anybody
And so
should vote for him.
this is a game that we'll be playing. I think people spend far too much time looking at the nuances of actual diplomacy without understanding that the only diplomatic maneuvering taking place is within Donald Trump's inner circle as he seeks to cancel those people who have more credibility than him because they actually stood up and opposed the war.
And yet the same man that can't beat Iran, didn't and can't, threatened China this morning. He said when told that China was resupplying the Iranians with anti-aircraft munitions and so on, he became very animated and said, China's going to be in big trouble if they supply the Iranians. And this with a visit to Beijing, outstanding, the one that he had to cancel the last time he insulted China. There is an air of unreality about him. I'm wondering if you think, like me, that he's really losing his marbles.
I've never been impressed with the intellectual capacity of Donald Trump. I've always given him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to, New York City criminality. I mean, most mafia, made men are somewhat, clever. They understand the streets, but they can't function in real life because in real life, you got to do more than just bully people. You actually have to think your way out of a problem. You have to have actual genuine expertise. Donald Trump has expertise in nothing, zero, squat.
Stealing.
And so here we have a situation where he has not even bothered to surround himself. It's okay. To be a charismatic leader, to surround yourself with good people. And
He know how to take credit for shit he didn't
sit back
do.
and go, all right, talk to me about this. Okay, thanks, boom. And then go out there and broad brush do what the guy just told you to do. But Donald Trump doesn't operate that way. He's all about himself. And so what looks like diminished mental capacity is just a reality that Donald Trump's dumber than dirt. He's not a very bright man. He's a pretty stupid man when it comes to the world we live in. He says the same things over and over again. I don't know how many times I have to hear that he's a good friend of Xi Jinping. He's my good friend.
What he said, if he said over and over, it's true.
I think Xi Jinping has no use for him, but Donald Trump is the president of the United States, so Xi Jinping has to, give that status some notice. But when I talk about empire-terminating events, something happened earlier this week. I don't think many Americans picked up on it, but the head of the Kuomintang, Taiwan's main opposition party that controls the parliament, flew to China and met with Xi Jinping, and there's talk about Xi Jinping coming to Taiwan. Guys, it's over. Game, set, match. China won. We can't take the Strait or Hormuz. Do you think that
they already making deals behind the scenes with
Indonesia? The answer is no. Do you think that we
to get to through Hormuz
bases in the South China Sea? The answer is no. China controls the major sea lines of communication that connect Japan and South Korea and Taiwan with the rest of the world. And the United States has proved that we no longer have the military capacity to keep these sea lanes open. The National Security Strategy of the United States, November last year, said that we are seeking conventional military overmatch with the Chinese so that when we sit down with the Chinese, they pee their pants in fear because we're so much better than they are. And we have lost that. We are now the pathetic, losers of the world. Because if you think the Iranian missiles are good, you haven't seen anything yet. The Chinese have missiles that are specifically designed to take out American aircraft carriers and all this.
He do, Monty.
It's over, and Donald Trump can't handle it. This is what happens when a man with diminished mental capacity, zero intellectual capability,
he overplayed his power.
Is confronted with overwhelmingly difficult
They moved
problems.
around him.
He needs to shut up and start
it's
bringing in
chestnut
experts who guide him through this process, or otherwise,
it's chestnut pinochle. Whatever.
One of your
he got outplayed.
Callers called in and talked about, how do we even begin reconstituting some of our more advanced technologies, because the supply chain all goes back to China in rare earth minerals. Gosh, what do they call them? Something magnets. It's a special term for magnets, but the magnets that are used in these weapon systems, these processes. China can just shut us down anytime they want to right now. We hold no cards. The only card we hold is nuclear weapons.
Thank you,
don't hold
Isaac.
that card anymore.
One last segue then, Scott. I'm in Moscow right now. What does all this mean for the NATO-Russia war? The United States seems to have stopped talking about it. The Europeans are not talking about it nearly as much as they were in the last couple of years, 4 years. The partisanship that you used to see on social media, the symbols, the memes, all of that, the NAFO, you'll remember them, were always salivating, barking dogs after people like you and me. Is it over, the Ukraine war, and how will it be brought to an end?
Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of fighting going on. The Ukrainian army is a very big army. That's what people need to understand. And even though we're not actively resupplying it, it has, enough meat on the bones to keep fighting for some time now. But it's like, the American Civil War, Lee versus Grant. The Confederate Army was a good army. They had quality troops. They go into a battle. The Ukrainians aren't beating the Russians, so that's the thing. But the Confederates used to go in and fight the Union to a standstill. But at the end of the day, they had to withdraw, not because they beat the Union, but because they lost too many men. They had to withdraw. The Union just kept reinforcing. Russia's, not losing that many men. The Ukrainians are getting slaughtered. But the thing is that the Russians are winning each one of these battles. Yes, there's the isolated counterattack here and there, but the Russians are dominating this battle. And this battle, again, one of your callers talked about drone warfare. I will be doing a major project on drone warfare in the coming months, where hopefully I'll be able to answer many of these questions with specifics, firsthand experience. But just doing the research of this project, the war that's being fought on the ground, in Ukraine between Ukrainians and Russians is unlike any war that's ever been imagined by anybody in NATO. The NATO and the United States, none of them know how to fight this war. They would be slaughtered in an instant by the reality of this war. And this war, as you rightly pointed out, is not one that's conducive to being mastered by, capitalist-driven military industrial complex where money is everything. The drone innovations that are take place on the front lines with the privates, the sergeants, the sub-lieutenants who every day are flying these missions, watching the enemy react and making the adjustments there on the front. They don't have to send it back to Washington, D.C. to get permission. They're doing it right there. The innovation's happening. They capture it while they're fighting. They send the innovation back to be looked at by a panel of people who then seek to adapt that and get it done. The ability of the Russians to respond almost instantaneously to battlefield innovations and advances. The Ukrainians are doing the same thing. This is a fascinating, dangerous war because the moment you achieve drone dominance, the battlefield breaks down in support of the enemy. Everything breaks down. And so it's always this battle between, who can get dominance, can the other side then return parity, maybe get pushy back. It's drones that are driving every aspect of this war, and we're not there. We don't know how to do it. We don't understand how to do it. We don't understand how do you break, centuries of, legacy dominance by infantry and armor, and artillery. Those are the big three. And suddenly these geeky little drone operators come in and go, yeah, we're sort of the top dogs right now. We're the ones that drive this boat. Everything works for us. Everything's centered around us. The Russians have gone ahead and they've created their own drone branch. And so, now a drone operator is a standalone like the infantry. And it's becoming a dominating aspect of this war. A lot of resources are going into this. In the United States, we're not doing that. NATO's not doing that. It's the end of NATO, George. I mean, the United States isn't just not talking about what's going on with Ukraine. We're talking about pulling out 100,000 troops from Europe. We're talking about selective support for nations. Article 5 is about collective self-defense. But when the United States says, Italy, you didn't send any ships. Spain, you didn't send any ships. Germany, you didn't send any ships. We're not going to support you. It's the end of NATO. It's part of the empire terminating event, all linked back to the American failure in Iran.
As somebody we both know and who's in a position to know, told me that the Ukraine war and the development of drone capacities therein is the most significant development in warfare since the invention of dynamite. Is that hyperbole, or do you recognize that?
No, it's 100%. If you haven't mastered the, let's put it this way. If you don't have tanks, you can still win on the battlefield. It's nice to have tanks. Tanks provide nice supporting arms. There's a utility for them. But you can still prevail on the battlefield without tanks. If you don't have drones, you will not prevail. You will not win. You will lose.
Yeah, you got to have
there's no
drones
doubt about it.
nowadays.
Drones are the single most important weapon system on the battlefield today.
Finally, I know it's not your area of expertise, and neither of us are the kind of fellow who enjoys attacking somebody else's wife. We have adversaries, no need to bring their wife into it. But Melania's looking a bit of a shaky vessel on the Epstein front these days. I wonder if you had any insight on that.
George, I try to stay as far away from that stinking pile of... Look, let's get serious for a second. America has an Epstein problem, and the world has an Epstein problem. What
Our
the
president got an Epstein problem.
files represent is the absolute, not just dysfunction, but rotten to the core. We are talking about America rotting from inside, the power elites and what was being done and what was being tolerated and
Right.
Who was doing it and how it was normalized. I mean, that's the thing about it, is how
Yeah,
this was normalized.
normalized.
Even the mafia, when they had a hitman, nobody wanted to hang around the hitman because he was just a bad guy. But here, everybody wants to hang around Epstein. Everybody wants to be with Epstein and Maxine and all this stuff. And they normalized some of the worst criminal behavior imaginable. And that's where Melania is. She normalized a relationship that she's now trying to walk away from, but you can't. And I think Melania and Donald Trump, I'm not accusing Melania of directly participating in anything.
I
But
am.
I can say this, she had to have known what
She
Donald
had
Trump
to.
was doing, what Epstein was doing, and she normalized it. She made it appear as if she can have normal interaction with these people.
Right.
And how it was normalized. I mean, that's the thing about it, is how this was normalized. Even the mafia, when they had a hitman, nobody wanted to hang
Absolutely.
around the hitman because he was just a bad guy.
With no
Bad
tires,
guy.
no
But here,
transmission,
everybody wants
or
to hang
motor.
around Epstein.
She
Everybody
ain't going
wants to be
nowhere.
with Epstein and Maxine and all this stuff. And they normalized some of the worst criminal behavior imaginable. And that's where Melania is. She normalized a relationship that she's now trying to walk away from, but you can't. And I think Melania and Donald Trump, I'm not accusing Melania of directly participating in anything, but I can say this, she had to have known what Donald Trump was doing, what Epstein was doing, and she normalized it. She made it appear as if she can have normal interaction with these people. And you can't. But that is part of the rot. And so she brought it on herself. We wouldn't be talking about this if she hadn't come out and thrust the spotlight on herself. But now that she's opted in to that, we have every obligation now to reflect on this. And it's, I think that she will go down in history as an enabler. Maybe that's not a criminal act, but it's an act that should define her in the eyes of society as one of the worst kinds of human beings. She, was this elite, rich, empowered, entitled person who lived a lifestyle that was built on the backs of these
Minors.
Maybe that's not a criminal act, but it's an act that should define her in the eyes of society as one of the worst kinds of human beings. She, was this elite, rich, empowered, entitled person who lived a lifestyle that was built on the backs of these girls who were being sexually exploited by the people she hung out with. And I'm sorry, Melania, you brought it on yourself, but
Yep.
there it is.
The biggest lie in fitness.
Okay, y'all get the lights up. We heading to Candace. She's finna tie in. Oh Lord, and she been ooh wee. Ooh, are you gonna talk about Melania too? Ooh. Candace, are you gonna tie into her as well since her husband, Auntie Fee? Auntie Fee being messy. I mean, her husband tried to say that old him, Shim, Kim look better than you from France, the first husband. I know you finna tie into all of the tea. All of the tea. Don't let her make it. Yeah, she trying to act like she wasn't a victim. Just like Brigitte, Hijet, Macron trying to act like him, Shim, Kim ain't a man. You know, they be all up into that fantasy. Okay, y'all remember a while ago when I said that alien that was back had them hoops looked like is this messy Monday, Auntie Fee? Why am I feeling like I'm being messy as hell? Why am I feeling like I'm being messy as hell, huh? Y'all remember when that alien was hooping with them military area 51? She said, basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way you dribble up and down the court. You know what I mean? And you can see her neck bone connected to her shoulder bone. You know, I don't know. But anyway, don't that look like her? Thank you. Wee. Thank you for helping me reach my goal. Boy, I tell you, I don't know where I be hoarse 1 minute and laughing and hit a first soprano octave like ain't nothing wrong with my throat. Lord, I don't know how I do it, but here it is. Didn't I say, huh? That alien looked like Celine DeLeon. Now, they say she looked like this because she was eating on them human bread. They were sacrificing. She got addicted to the sacrifice. That she went so far as to tap, what's her name? What's that? I can't think of the name. They used to have her, Ellen DeGeneres. That's eating folks' brains and shit. Where they do that at? They say that's what's wrong with Bill Clinton. They've been eating on brains too long. Now, what made y'all see? This is when you know you're tapping into a portal that you should not be tapping into. Leave them aliens, how they eat, how they drink and smoke. Leave them folk alone. Now you beginning to look like them, and because everybody know that y'all was unaliving kids, sacrificing, giving the bodies to the creature from the Owl Lagoon, you know, in what is it, Bohemian Grove, and y'all was drinking the blood, you know, the blood of the lamb, not the blood of the people. You understand? Drinking the blood to make y'all look young, and now we know, now y'all won't drink the blood and eat the brains, and now y'all looking like death walking. Girl, you got one of them necks. Look how wide your lips are, your neck lips are, baby. Your camel toe and your neck got a big ass gap. Boy, I know them aliens loving on you. Y'all see that from a distance? Y'all see that in her neck? She got a V-neck. Baby, look at the camel toe in that neck here. Have mercy. some freaky ass dude saying, God damn. What your neck do? Look at this. Look at the gap on that neck. I ain't never seen nothing like it, y'all. And if y'all have something wrong with you, I ain't never seen a V-neck for real. But do she not, if her head is huge in the back, now over here now, the head, you take that hair off, she gonna look just like that dude, that woman, that alien that was hooping. So y'all take a snapshot. Look with your good eyes. I'm finna roll over to the alien hooping. You see how skinny she is? You see that? Now see, she got hair on her head right now, but you shave that hair off. Imagine that hair being gone. Look at that neck. Lord, Lord, Lord. What type of alien shit is this? This is when you're talking about messing with DNA. Ain't no telling what was in the brain she ate. I'm laughing, but I ain't. You know, this is when you mess with God's creation and try to alter it, trying to duplicate it. See, this is when you have your trying to be God. What is it called? Counterfeit. Yeah, you trying to duplicate. Yeah, like a whole ugly knockoff. A knockoff. See, playing with DNA. Trying to dominate, trying to get rid of all the darker shades of the 50 shades of gray, trying to create these gypsies and put it in the DNA that they really are Jews so that they can claim this. This is when begging goes too far. You want to replace and duplicate so bad. You want to want people to give you land that don't belong to you. And you're trying too hard. Now you done got caught up in the sauce. And now you just trying. You're so close. You know how them mad. I'm so close. I'm so close to getting to it. Yeah, you playing with aliens and you playing with humans. Y'all eating the bodies and the brains. And what parts you don't like, you selling the McDonald's. They put it in the burgers. You know, all of this type shit. What's really going on? You're a counterfeit. Epstein, what's that? Bill Gates, the doctor, Trump, y'all counterfeits. Y'all hate that y'all not chosen. Y'all hate that y'all don't have that shade of brown that you know is. Y'all hate that shit. But look at her. Then I'm finna pause and go to this alien. Y'all gotta see this shit. Y'all thought I was playing. y'all thought I was playing. No, I wasn't playing. That the alien looked like Celine Dion. I wonder, can she sing? What? I wonder, can she sing? If that alien can hoop the way she can hoop, hell, can she sing the way Celine Dion can sing? I'm so glad I can't think of none of her songs right now, because you know I will be trying to sing it. Hold on, let me get to this alien hooping that really just blew my brain. I'm left brain dominant. Yeah, and it blew the left brain side to the right. You know, I gotta swoop my head. I gotta shift my left brain, right brain, like I'm playing basketball here, because they be wanting to eat your brains and shit now. So I got to keep my brain moving, you know, shifting it to the left, to the right, you know. Yeah, they want to eat your brains. Yeah, here she is. This alien, tall, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's her back here. Yeah, she got an Air Force One, black Air Force Ones. I thought that was for gangster. Look at Celine. They done shaved all her hair off. Yeah, look at that alien. Area 51. Look at that jawline. You see that jawbone? Y'all see that jawbone? Whoops, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Boo wow, boo wow. dunk on your bitch ass. Hi, Marie R. Look at her. Look at her. Y'all on that, baby. Although it wasn't. I'm just saying. Look at this jawbone right here. Y'all see that? Look at that neck. Okay, hold on. Look at the neck, y'all. Do she have a V-neck? Do she have a V-neck? Do she have... They don't want to show us. Do she have a V-neck, y'all? God dang. Look at that head. Look at that head. Auntie Faye, you know what? You play too much. You play too much, Auntie Faye. Oh, I know you was a bad child because you play too much. Woo! Okay, so now, what's the next stop? What you talking about, Mark? Y'all, we got us one. We got us one. She is 125% guilty. Mark, what you talking about? What you talking about, Mark? Cherry Peeps. Yeah, embrace us. She is, y'all, they say she was eating them brains. My. She look like, just imagine that hair back here gone. Let's hear Candace before I gotta put Mark out. Oh, shoot. I got 10%. Show starting soon. Okay.
Also, in case you missed it, Baron Coleman made a show. He's decided to aim a few, figuratively. But I guess technically I was back on.
She's starting soon. Mark, what's about to enter? What's about the enter of? I don't know what you're trying to say. Where's my?
All right, you guys, happy Monday. I'm back. I hope you missed me. I missed you guys. But I guess technically I was back on Friday too because Trump is just, he's lost his mind. And he hasn't found it over the weekend. I'll tell you, there has now, I guess not since 1981, have there been shots fired at a pope over politics, but Donald Trump is under demonic influence, so...
And she used to look up to, this is the killer part for me, and her, she used to look up to him.
All right, you guys, happy Monday. I'm back. I hope you missed me. I missed you guys. But I guess technically I was back on Friday too because Trump is just, he's lost his mind. And he hasn't found it over the weekend. I'll tell you, there has now, I guess not since 1981, have there been shots fired at a pope over politics, but Donald Trump is under demonic influence, so he's decided to aim a few, figuratively, at His Holiness, Pope Leo XIV, and it's not going well for him. It is not going well for Trump at all. Also, in case you missed it, Baron Coleman made a shocking discovery last week in the Tyler Robinson filings, which confirmed some of our earlier reporting. We should definitely go over it because outside of naked corruption, the way that I'm looking through these matters, I see no way in which the feds can win this case. Tyler Robinson, in my view, did not commit this crime. I'm convinced, and I'm going to show you more evidence as to why
He didn't do it.
And lastly, guys, donors have contacted me, Turning Point USA donors that were in Aspen when Charlie allegedly said, I appoint Erika Kirk.
She finna set it off.
That audio is completely faked and they are shocked. So, welcome back to Candace.
Okay, now Miss Tom, I'm confused, cause where is your stick? Where is your where's your wrench? Yeah, you got more than one account some way. Go back to you got two accounts. One of them, well, you got three, and cause this one right here don't have a wrench, but the other one do. You got to figure that out, cause you got two wrenches tied up. Yeah, cause you when you went out and came back in, you came back in under a different profile. You got more than one profile. Now that I know.
Okay, you guys, before we get to the meat and potatoes of today, I at first have to tell you about my weekend because it was a little cray-cray. I'm pretty convinced that my life is in fact a sitcom, okay? One that's probably being written by Will Ferrell. I sometimes believe I could be a Sims character and someone's having a lot of fun. So on background, I had not spoken about this before because it's pretty lame, but my foot has been broken for the last 4 weeks. I broke my foot,
Oh
no
wow.
joke, on Friday the 13th. There's a picture. And I was doing nothing. It was very uncool. I was wearing a slipper that was probably being written by Will Ferrell. I sometimes believe I could be a Sims character and someone's having a lot of fun. So on background, I had not spoken about this before because it's pretty lame, but my foot has been broken for the last 4 weeks. I broke my foot, no joke, on Friday the 13th. There's a picture. And I was
Oh
doing
wow. Friday the 13th. Oh wow. Oh, that and it just kind of look like it's hurt because it's a snap. Oh wow. Okay.
nothing. It was very uncool. I was wearing a slipper that was too big for me, and I got up to take one step. I slipped inside the slipper, and I landed like this on the front of my right foot. Heard the pop. Very proud of myself. I did not scream because my daughter was within earshot and I didn't want to scare her. But anyway, as you can imagine, with 4 kids beneath the age of 5, it's a minor inconvenience, okay? I can't even hold my youngest, who is 11 months, not yet walking, beyond, a few feet before it grows too tiresome. So anyway, Saturday morning, I get up all the kids, right? We're going to this outdoor market. We're going to meet up with Theobon. My kids love Theobon. And at this particular market, there happens to be a playground. I want to be clear, it is a preschool playground. It is for toddlers, not even for kids. So I buy what I need to buy at this market, and my husband is with me, and he's holding the 11-month-old because I can't hold him. And it's already, not the best Saturday morning because I had only just learned the day before via a presidential statement that Brigitte Macron is way better looking than me. I actually learned that it's not even close. It's not even close. I'm kind of ashamed to show my face in public. Just learned the day before via a presidential statement that Brigitte Macron is.
Oh my God. This him shim. Trump said is better looking than Candace. Lord have mercy. I need one of them ones where Candace is looking on the side eye. Like, where's her side eye at? I need a side eye picture. Trump messy. He messy. He sure think like he think he look good. That's the funny thing. Man, do you know you have on a diaper? Do you know you have, fluids, greenish brown ass fluids running down out the side of your diaper down your leg? Check his eye. Wow. Yeah, he need glasses. Yeah, he do.
Way better looking than me. I actually learned that it's not even close. It's not even close. I'm kind of ashamed to show my face in public. I'm wearing my big sunglasses. Anyway, so I got what I needed for dinner, and I was then heading to the toddler playground right next to the market. So the kids could run around for a bit, and about 40 feet away from the little gate that opens the playground, my husband notices that there's an older woman that's laid out on the concrete in the middle of the parking lot. There's two men standing above her. There's obviously something going on. I instantly know what that means. My husband is that kind of guy who is always going to go try to help in every scenario. And he's like, well, I have a medical kit in the car. Let me just see if she's okay. And I'm like, mildly being a little selfish because I'm realizing I'm going to have to hold the bag and I have to hold the baby. And I'm like, there's already guys over there. But I'm like, okay, no, obviously you should go and you should try to help and see if they've called 911. So I just want to put that in your mind. Me, boot, like medical boot, walking with a limp, holding a grocery bag on my left shoulder, and a very tall, off the charts tall 11-month-old. Just want you to know that in this moment, I'm obviously a victim. It's also like 85 degrees, boiling on top of that. And I make the 40 feet journey, and as soon as I get onto the playground at this preschool, I see Cabot Phillips, okay? Erika's ex-boyfriend, one of the many current Daily Wire employee who was featured on my podcast when Mitch gave a description of the guy that he believes that he saw with Erika at Fort Huachuca back in September. You will recall that I texted Cabot Phillips before we mentioned him on the podcast, looking for a simple yes or no response. Hey, were you at Fort Huachuca? Guy kind of thinks this person fits your description. He made a decision not to answer. Not really sure why. I kind of think it's because he works for the Daily Wire, and it's kind of like a big drama club, and they overthought it, and we're like, we can just ta-da and surprise her, whatever. Anyways, he looks at me, and his jaw, literally his mouth was ajar, like a sitcom. I don't think people really do that. I didn't think people really did that in real life, but he did. So I said, hi, Cabot. I said, what else would you say when someone's like this? And he goes, no. You know what? I am really not wanting to do that right now. And I said, okay, we don't have to do anything. We are in a very confined space here with very small children. He had his 2-year-old. I've got 4 kids on this playground. He's outnumbered, to be clear. I've got 4 kids on this playground. But he was fired up, so he wanted to have a little verbal tussle, I guess, and his energy was giving Dad at a t-ball game, the one that wants to argue with the ump, who's really like a teenager volunteering, and he's just like, no. So he then said to me, rather really mysteriously, he was like, this is my son. So I look at the kid, really cute, and I said, oh, hi. And he goes, oh, really? Because of you, people don't believe that he is my son. Okay. Totally confused. I was so confused. I've never been more confused. I'm also hot and I can't walk. I have investigated a great many things on this podcast, but the paternity of Cabot Phillips' son, not this show, wrong podcast, Kamala's grandmother, absolutely, that was me. But this, a little bit out of line. So I said, Cabot, this is not the appropriate place. We are on a toddler playground. If you would like to step outside of this designated play area and have a conversation, I would be happy to, but not in front of my kids.
In other words, you want to take it to the sidewalk?
Now you care about kids? I was like, yeah, that's kind of my whole brand. I care about kids. And my kids have no idea what I do. So again, if you'd like...
Let's keep it real. It's what, in the genocide, what they was doing to the kids. And all the killing, that's what really got her to saying something ain't right. I know that I know I need to get up out of this cult. So, it has been her trigger, her light above shining was about kids being unalive. So I don't know who this person is, but let me back up a little bit.
I've got 4 kids on this playground. He was outnumbered, to be clear. I've got 4 kids on this playground. But he was fired up, so he wanted to have a little verbal tussle, I guess. And his energy was giving Dad at a t-ball game, the one that wants to argue with the ump, who's really like a teenager volunteering. And he's just like, no. So he then said to me, rather really mysteriously, he was like, "This is my son." So I look at the kid, really cute, and I said, "Oh, hi." And he goes, "Oh, really? Because of you, people don't believe that he is my son." Okay. Totally confused. I was so confused. I've never been more confused. I'm also hot, and I can't walk. I have investigated a great many things on this podcast, but the paternity of Cabot Phillips' son, not this show, wrong podcast, Kamala's grandmother, absolutely, that was me. But this, a little bit out of line. So I said, "Cabot, this is not the appropriate place. We are on a toddler playground. If you would like to step outside of this designated play area and have a conversation, I would be happy to, but not in front of my kids." And then he says, "Oh, now you care about kids?" I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of my whole brand. I care about kids. And my kids have no idea what I do. So again, if you'd like to step out of this perimeter, we can have a chat." And then he sort of huffed.
She has a
and
strong neck
his
to
neck started
hold up.
swelling. And then he decided that he wasn't done, I guess.
She don't have
And
that. She don't
next
have
time, I just was
neck,
like, who was writing the script?
coochie neck.
He drops
She don't have them
his
lips.
bottom lip like this, and he says, "This is my tattoo. Here it is. This is my tattoo. See?" And I couldn't see anything for us.
Oh, that was
And
Cabot.
I had no idea what was happening. 4 kids, a broken foot, the inside of Cabot's bottom lip, all happening in like 85-degree muggy weather. There's just no justice in this world. And what you guys understand, I was a victim. I'd be victimized on this toddler playground. And the dialogue obviously going on in my head was, "Cabot, please put your lip back inside of your mouth before I punch you in your face." But I'm a doll. I'm like a southern peach now. So I instead reinforced to him, I said, "Cabot, we are on a toddler playground. This is just not the appropriate place." And then he said, "Oh, would your podcast be a more appropriate place?" And that was giving Todd from Wedding Crashers, and he's like, "Oh, will that make you love me?" And yeah, obviously, my podcast would be a more appropriate place because, like, toddlers are not my general demographic. And I would like to state unequivocally that never in the history of this podcast have I discussed Cabot Phillips' tattoos or his inner lips. And anyway, I think after this, he suddenly sort of arrived at his senses and realized that it was very strange to take your lip out at a toddler playground. But of course, because my life is actually a sitcom, someone thought, wouldn't it also be funny if then after all of that, their like 2 kids wanted to be friends with one another? Exactly what happened. My 2-year-old has now worked out that he's basically the same size as Cabot's, looks like he's 2-year-old, and the 2 of them are looking at each other like they want to play. And I'm like, "Are we going to do this?" I'm looking at my son, looking at his stuff, just like, "Are you guys going to really?" And they were like, "Did we just become best friends?" And they're looking at each other like, "We're the same size. We have the same color hair." And I then had to sit there for the next 15 and 20 minutes, sitting there with my broken foot as our little toddlers drove around each other in their cars. So I just wanted you to know that that's my life in a nutshell. My life is very strange, it's unpredictable, and I want to also state that I believe that that is Cabot Phillips' child. I never made the claim otherwise, but he certainly seemed to know him and to like him. So whatever pocket of the internet is looking into that, consider the matter closed. Anyway, had to share that with you. Moving on, some actually huge breaking news to you regarding Erika. Now, before we went on break, we had informed you that I had been sort of quietly prodding the narrative for months that Charlie, a mere weeks before his untimely death, literally weeks before, took the stage in Aspen at this investor retreat where he was giving an update on the company, and he stood in front of a bunch of donors, and for some reason, after somebody asked him a question about what would happen if you died, because that's a totally normal question to ask, that Charlie declared that he wanted to appoint Erika as the CEO and the chairman of his company. Didn't pass the sniff test for obvious reasons. Okay, number one, no husband ever, no man ever would say, if I am killed on the job, I want my wife to assume the dangerous position that I just occupied, right? Put another way, they want us to believe that Charlie was like, look, if I get assassinated, my wife should then be put in that very position that led to my assassination. Hopefully our kids will figure it out. It just makes no sense. Beyond anything else, I just want you to feel free to be able to produce sense. That's kind of the point of my whole podcast. It's okay to have common sense and to not rely on experts. They're increasingly stupid. And so I just was like, I'm going to look into that. And despite telling us all about how they had caught this amazing moment on video. We had first actually heard this from Erika, as we showed you, telling Megyn Kelly. They all sort of repeated it. This is what Charlie said. When pushed, Turning Point declined to show the video. Instead, they chose only to release the audio. And when we asked for the video, Blake freaked out. Blake Neff, Blakey boy. Blakey the Neff, Neff to the Blakey. My man Blake. He freaked out. He said I was a psychopathic subway killer that was wielding a knife. I said, if I have to be that in your imagination, that's fine. Can we see the video? He said, no, we're never going to show you the video. This will never be enough. Little too much emotion, Blake. I know how to read rums. You're not acting right. Well, guess what happened after we aired that episode? And I guess I hadn't appreciated that we had never said that that happened in Aspen. Most people were assuming that that happened in the Hamptons. It did not happen in the Hamptons. It happened in Aspen. So after my episode, I had another 2 donors reach out to me who were present at this Aspen event, and they were shocked. I guess they were watching my show, like Cabot Phillips. They're like, ajar. Because while they had heard, obviously, Erika at MEMPHIS, and she walked out to Charlie saying that, they had heard her discuss that statement. They were not aware that Turning Point was making the claim that the statement occurred at that event. And they said unequivocally, that did not happen. Charlie never uttered those words. They were shocked to hear it. So I'm going to run that clip again of what they are alleging that Charlie said. Take a listen.
But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
It's very strange if you would say, appoint my wife. Like, why would you have to make an appointment there? You could just discuss it. Even if you were going to say, you'd be like, I think that this person will figure it out, whatever. But I appoint is so formal. It is just so formal. That right there, it turns out, might be Charlie GPT. A term, by the way, that you should know was first uttered, Charlie GPT, in an interview by none other than our guy, Andrew Colbett. He claimed, after Charlie died, that they had pitches from companies that wanted to create just that. Don't believe me? Take a listen to Andrew Colbett.
And at what point did it become clear to you that this was going to, that you were going to at least temporarily not fill Charlie's shoes, but take over part of his role? Because obviously, since then, you have been not alone, but you have been running the Charlie Kirk show. You are, for the moment, the voice of Charlie Kirk in the aftermath. When did that become clear that that was something you were going to undertake?
Yeah, and I just want to be very clear that I don't see myself as that. I worked with Charlie just about every day for 8 years, and I feel like I have a Charlie GPT or something in the back of my head. I mean, I hear...
As long as you don't do the weird AI
We are
thing.
not going to do the weird AI
Yeah.
thing. We've been pitched on that multiple times. I'm just like, guys,
Hold on, y'all. I'm going to have to back it up. I missed it.
Okay, so they've been pitched on that. Do I believe that after Charlie died, people MEMPHIS, that she walked out to Charlie saying that, they sense? That's kind of the point of my whole podcast. It's okay to have common sense. I share that with you. Moving on, some actually huge breaking news to you regarding Erika. Now, before we went on break, we had informed you that I had been sort of quietly prodding the narrative for months that Charlie, a mere weeks before his untimely death, literally weeks before, took the stage in Aspen at this investor retreat where he was giving an update on the company, and he stood in front of a bunch of donors, and for some reason, after somebody asked him a question about what would happen if you died, because that's a totally normal question to ask, that Charlie declared that he wanted to appoint Erika as the CEO and the chairman of his company. Didn't pass the sniff test for obvious reasons. Okay, number
But she was
one,
never
no
part of it.
husband ever, no man ever would say, if I am killed on the job, I want my wife to assume the dangerous position that I just occupied. Right? Put another way, they want us to believe that Charlie was like, look, if I get assassinated, my wife should then be put in that very position that led to my assassination. Hopefully our kids will figure it out. It just makes no sense. Beyond anything else, I just want you to feel free to be able to produce sense. That's kind of the point of my whole podcast. It's okay to have common sense and to not rely on experts. They're increasingly stupid. And
purpose.
so I just was like, I'm going to look into that. And despite telling us all about how they had caught this amazing moment on video, we had first actually heard this from Erika, as we showed you, telling Megyn Kelly. They all sort of repeated it. This is what Charlie said. When pushed, Turning Point declined to show the video. Instead, they chose only to release the audio. And when we asked for the video, Blake freaked out. Blakey boy. Blakey the Neff to the Blakey.
Blakey boy.
My man Blake. He freaked out. He said I was a psychopathic subway killer that was wielding a knife. I said, if I have to be that in your imagination, that's fine. Can we see the video? He said, no, we're never going to show you the video because it'll never be enough. Little too much emotion, Blake. I know how to read rums. You're not acting right. Well, guess what happened after we aired that episode? And I guess I hadn't appreciated that we had never said that that happened in Aspen. Most people were assuming that that happened in the Hamptons. It did not happen in the Hamptons. It happened in Aspen. So after my episode, I had another 2 donors reach out to me who were present at this Aspen event, and they were shocked. I guess they were watching my show. Cabot Phillips, they're like, ajar. Because while they had heard, obviously, Erika at AMFest, and she walked out to Charlie saying that, they had heard her discuss that statement. They were not aware that Turning Point was making the claim that the statement occurred at that event. And they said unequivocally, that did not happen. Charlie never uttered those words. They were shocked to hear it. So I'm going to run that clip again of what they are alleging that Charlie said. Take a listen.
But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erika would do a great job.
It's very strange if you would say, appoint my wife. Like, why would you have to make an appointment there? You just discuss it. Even if you were going to say, you'd be like,
You appoint her right there. You do that.
Whatever. But I appoint is so formal. It is just so formal. That right there, it turns out, might be Charlie GPT. A term, by the way, that you should know was first uttered, Charlie GPT, in an interview by none other than our guy, Andrew Colbett. He claimed, after Charlie died, they had pitches from companies that wanted to create just that. Don't believe me? Take a listen to Andrew Colbett.
And at what point, I guess, at what point did it become clear to you that this was going to, that you were going to, at least temporarily, not fill Charlie's shoes, but take over part of his role? Because obviously, since then...
And get with his wife.
Not alone, but you've been running the CHARLIEKIRK show. You were, for the moment, the voice of CHARLIEKIRK in the aftermath. When did that become clear that that was something you were going to undertake?
Yeah, and I just want to be very clear that I don't see myself as that. I worked with Charlie just about every day for 8 years, and I feel like I have a Charlie GPT or something in the back of my head. I mean, truly, I hear...
As long as you don't do the weird AI
We are
thing.
not going to do the weird AI thing. We've been pitched on that multiple times. I'm just like, guys, no, not at all.
Okay, so they've been pitched on that. Do I believe that after Charlie died, people would have been so distasteful as to rush in and immediately pitch a Charlie GPT scenario? No. I think it's plausible that those pitches took place before Charlie died for a litany of reasons. They might suggest that. I mean, I've certainly been in places where they've pitched me on like AI Candace, hologram Candace, because it helps you not have to go to so many places at once. Oh, you can have a hologram. That probably sounds more right to me. My question is, did they take someone up on their offer to create a Charlie GPT? Because I cannot stress this enough. The donors who were in attendance in Aspen are telling me that Charlie never said this. Not only that, but they are telling me that multiple times throughout, when he had an opportunity to even bring up Erika, he did not. Apparently Erika was up in Aspen, but was not at this exact presentation when the questions were asked. There was even a smaller dinner that took place later with just about 12 people in attendance that took place after the presentation. They asked him about his future plans for Turning Point, and Erika was never mentioned. When I say they are stunned, they are stunned. They are saying, you need to pursue this further because they're lying. This did not happen at the Aspen event. It would be very easy for them to drop this video, and they want it dropped. Okay? These are donors to Turning Point USA. What can I say there? How evil are the implications?
Hot salt and
there?
pepper
Do you
natural.
understand? Are you comprehending? Because I don't think I am fully comprehending
Hot
how
voice a
evil
piece.
that would be, if true, that they used an AI program, which Blake Knapp's reaction to me, I've been around, suggests that they did, because it's just so much easier. Why would you just release the audio? This is crucial, and I'm not going to let this go on like a dog with a bone on this. Turning Point must release the video to prove the notion that they made this up. The notion implied that there was a plot to move Charlie and then to use Charlie to convince Charlie's dying first. Okay, well, people are not going to believe talking about wives staying at home that this is actually what Charlie wanted. I know it will create, he said weeks before he died, and it's unlikely. And to add to that totally unlikely scenario, they also kept insisting immediately and through various interviews, Erika was raised by a single mother, something that is objectively untrue. We have proven that 1,000 times over. It is objectively
Everything about
untrue
these people
for
are
them
lies.
to suggest that Erika was raised by a single mother. It's not true. And by the way, it's weird that she describes herself as a single mother. You would say you're a widow. So like just a totally different vibe there. This feels evil to me. I have a troubling sense, a growing troubling sense, that Charlie never said it. Now being deepened further by donors with direct knowledge of this event. And speaking of a growing and troubling sense of evil, there is a relationship that is...
I think if he was expecting for her, that she would have been an active part of the business. That she would be actively working with him with the business.
I wasn't cynical enough to see it at first. I remember early on, people were like, do you think he's trying to take over Turning Point USA? And I said on my show, no, I don't think so. But something happened during break that has
And if he was having a problem with believing her and trusting her, I think that she was a part of his takedown, why would he say that? That part don't make sense to me. He want to take her from home with the kids and saying, okay, when I pass, I want her to come from home with my kids and work this business that she really don't know goes. And this devil want to be right here. He want to be wherever he can get in to fit in. And then I found out he like 4'11". I said, oh, Lord. It's too convenient.
First, I wasn't cynical enough to see it at first. I remember early on, people were like, do you think he's trying to take over Turning Point USA? And I said on my show, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, it took you a minute to get that, Candace.
That has changed things, I think, for me. And there's just too many coincidences adding up here, okay? First and foremost, I have told you, I have proven to you many times over that Charlie hated Ben. Everybody knows that. Even Jeremy Boring, when he went on his like Candace tour, kind of caged his response and tried to make it sound good that the two of them did not get along when he was on Piers Morgan. That's the former CEO of Daily Wire. Erika knew this, Andrew Colvett knew this, and as I've said to you, after I was fired from the Daily Wire in the beginning of 2024, Charlie took my side in a very big and public way. Ben then set to work behind the scenes, getting like the Jewish network of donors and writers to peer pressure Charlie to distance from me because of anti-Semitism. Andrew admitted in that same New York Times interview that we just showed you that he effectively forced Charlie to interview Ben a few days before his death. Charlie did not like that. He was upset with Andrew, as Andrew
anti-Semite or Semitism. This is political. Don't believe in somebody's political right to steal.
He then gets, behind the scenes, he gets Caleb Robinson to negotiate to have Ben on Charlie's show. Actually, they wanted to have only Matt Walsh on the show. And Caleb said, well, how about a 2-for-1 special? Andrew Colvett agreed to do that. So he inserted himself again where he was not wanted. He then went to the funeral. All of that to me was very weird. And then it got, something felt off when Erika elected to have him open MEMPHIS. I said, this is too much, right? He then is radical and instant in his demands for Megyn Kelly to say something about me. Do not look into Erika Kirk. Like, he was one of the reasons that I actually looked into Erika Kirk, because I thought this is very weird. Why is he's almost signaling to us that we should look into Erika. No, Megyn, demand you say this. Michael Knowles, even now, calling her evil, looking into the wife as a potential suspect, which is like what happens all the time in the course of any investigation. Evil, he was too emotionally invested in some manner.
Yeah.
He went on
Why
his
is
show
everything
and he
evil?
demanded that Erika sue me for dropping a minute, suing me for 2 years, okay, in arbitration court, so people can't read and see how mentally unstable he is and what he wants money over. Then I get a last week from people at
Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now?
Alliance Defending Freedom, okay? It's like what happens all the time in the course of any investigation. That's evil. He's too emotionally invested. And I started asking myself, is he also financially invested in some manner? He went on his show and he demanded that Erika sue me for dropping a 2-minute trailer. That was his response to the trailer. Erika should sue Candace for a trailer that just has Erika's own words in it. This is after he's been suing me for 2 years, okay, in arbitration court, so people can't read and see how mentally unstable he is and what he wants money over. Then I get a flurry of emails last week from people at Alliance Defending Freedom, okay, massive organization. They do great work. You know, if you remember the baking the cake for the gay couple, it's you know, it's like a free speech organization on behalf of Christians, okay? So they, again, touch some of these people, and they're like, you know, Ben is working with Erika on ways to sue you. He's become suddenly very influential in Alliance Defending Freedom. So has Seth Dillon, who, like, they helped him, Seth Dillon, at one point. And I'm like, whoa, isn't this a Christian organization? What are you talking about? Ben Shapiro is working with Erika Kirk and Turning Point with Alliance Defending Freedom. That doesn't sound right to me.
Hey, Sassafras.
Candace, I can prove it.
So y'all can't hear the audio. Go out and come back in.
And sure enough, they send me an internal video of their CEO, at first, just discussing the fact that they were working with Erika regarding me. So I'm gonna.
Woo, thank you. Look at that, the laughing disco. Thank you, Monty Truckin'. I greatly appreciate your support. I hope you can hear me.
Show you that video. This is, again, their CEO. No beef with her. It was just proof that what they were saying was true. Take a listen.
I think that the other thing I would say is just something that happened yesterday. I was on a phone call with a large organization you would know very, very well, and there's a lot of tension around who they are right now, and it has to do with Candace Owens, which might give you a clue of what we're talking about. And it was a moment where I was able to share all of the garbage we've been through in the last 3 years, and the way we've thought about decisions that we have made, whether you sue someone, how do you respond to hostility, how do you respond to persecution, how do you deal with mess, and strategically have a new leadership team, all those things. We felt so crummy when we were going through them, and yet it was a reminder that God uses all of those things for his purposes.
And then, as proof that Daily Wire was driving this bus, they informed me that the public is not aware, but that they quietly took a board seat. This is, again, massive organization. There's only, I think, 8 board seats in total, and they showed me that in an internal presentation. I'm going to show you this, I guess, a still of that. If we have that, you guys. Caleb Robinson is the CEO of Daily Wire. He is now on the board of directors, so it's like, you know, almost a silent seat for Ben. I would describe that as, because Caleb Robinson doesn't have any legal experience, and they said that Ben was driving the bus, gunning for me through Alliance Defending Freedom. So why am I telling you this? Because this makes me uncomfortable. I don't know what his obsession is with Turning Point USA, but there is one that I think the public is becoming aware of. I'm also saying it because I have been often said to you that this organization, like the Daily Wire, has, in my view and my understanding of what gang stalking is, has been doing this since the day they fired me. It has not stopped. It's been an onslaught of my life every way, trying to stop speeches, trying to get people to say things about me, having articles written, trying to have other people reach out and go after my advertisers. It has been I was fired from the Daily Wire in 2024. We are in 2026. It has been over 2 years. And you're telling me they stopped personally suing me
They're
to get
still
involved with
mad.
Alliance Defending Freedom and to encourage other people to sue me, as these people are telling me? There was something that Megyn Kelly said. I don't remember who she had in her show, but she was talking about Mark Levin, and she said there is a piece of her that feels like he genuinely wants to hurt her, like he would want harm to come to Megyn Kelly. Like if someone killed her, he would be happy. And I watched this and I went, yes, in my head, obviously. I said, I agree with this. And this is exactly how I feel about Ben Shapiro. I can't explain to you, but there was an obsession here. He brought back my socials. They make videos. It has not stopped. And I just want to make sure that at every turn, this is the only, I feel this is the only weapon that I have back against them, is to continually expose the stalking that goes on behind the scenes. There should be, by the way, an organization, if you're going to talk about Alliance Defending Freedom or people that are helping Christians, there should be an organization that is dedicated to protecting employees or former employees or former contractors from this level of non-stop, consistent harassment and focus and obsession. Just fire someone. This should never be happening to you at work, but I will forever publicize it so people are aware of, and obviously people have seen it, they've brought back my socials, and this is apparently going on behind the scenes. They're somehow involved with Turning Point USA and egging for them, and this person did also mention Seth Dillon. One of them mentioned Seth Dillon. The other three people at Alliance Defending Freedom all said Ben Shapiro. But yeah, it's just going on, and I just want to give a spotlight to it. So maybe
Hey, Brian.
we tried to go 1 month with this man leaving me alone. I highly doubt it. There's something about him that feels dangerous, and I will leave it at that. We'll be right back after a quick break. All right, you guys, you see the headlines, you read the stories, and then the impact shows up in your own numbers. Balance is rising and fees piling up. Minimum enzyme levels by 50% in most of their parts, and they somehow keep my feet perfectly warm without ever feeling too heavy. It's that kind of comfort that you don't realize you need until you have it, and then you can't go mention that you heard about Cozy Earth Bright Heat. Oh, extra ridiculous. I should have just listened to my husband, and I got the wrong size. But then because they came, I don't know why, I was like, this is my size. Me, but I should probably state that it was not the checkout for an exclusive 20% off. You see a post-purchase survey, be sure to mention that you heard about
Thank you,
Cozy Earth
me.
right here.
Me.
CozyEarth.com for an
It's
exclusive
me,
20%
it's
off.
me, it's me, oh
You know, it just
Lord.
occurred to me that I should probably
Thank you,
state that
me.
it was not the Cozy Earth slipper that I slipped in. It was actually a pair that I got from the UK, and the bigger lesson of my life is that I should have listened to my husband. I don't know why. I was like, this is my size. And he said, no, UK sizes are different. If you get this slipper, it'll be way too big. And I was like, no, look at this chart. It says, this is my size, as if he wasn't born and raised in London. And I got the wrong size. But then because they came in, I had to just wear them, because then I felt extra ridiculous. I should have just listened to my husband. And yeah, I've now been in this boot for 4 weeks, and he has said, lessons learned the hard way. Anyway, you guys, getting into what Baron Coleman discovered. So one of the earliest stories that we broke, actually back on September 29th, to be precise, was that we had a source with direct knowledge regarding Tyler Robinson's arrest, and they had insisted to us that it was known to the police that Tyler Robinson was their guy before 7 o'clock p.m. on September 11th. Okay, I'm going to show you on a timeline.
Okay, y'all, I'm finna step away.
The second thing that they noted to us was
I'm
that
finna
Governor
step away. I'm finna hop
Cox
in some water for a
and,
minute, okay? Well, longer than a
police,
minute,
they
but
were
I
lying
am about to
the
step
clothing
away.
that he was wearing when he was brought in. It just be a reminder that she deserves.
Can y'all hear me?
Discover how Cozy Earth turns everyday routines into moments of softness and ease. Head to CozyEarth.com. Cox and the police that Tyler Robinson was their guy before 7 o'clock p.m. on September 11th. Okay, okay? I'm going to show you on a timeline why that's important. The second thing that they noted to us was that Governor Cox and the police, they were lying about the clothing that he was wearing when he was brought in. It struck them as odd that they were saying that he was wearing an outfit that he was not
Okay,
wearing. So
hit the like
we had
button.
included
Ouch.
that little tidbit on our original timeline when the Washington County Police knew that it was Tyler Robinson, which was, again, by 7 o'clock p.m. they were all texting each other. They had said they initially had planned to pick him up in Warner Valley, but, and this is a part that has not come out since, that he was buying a gun, that Tyler Robinson had been buying a gun in Warner Valley, purchasing another gun. But then suddenly there was some sea change, and they learned that he was coming in cooperatively. A couple of things I could say about that. There are some people that have been speculating that perhaps the plan, if we all accept that this is all Fed slop, was that Tyler Robinson was going to maybe die in a shootout or something. And this little tidbit that has never been brought forth to the public about him purchasing a gun in Warner Valley is of interest to me. But let's get into why that specific 7 o'clock p.m. timeline could be interesting. So rather amazingly, Baron Coleman was climbing through documents which were filed by Tyler Robinson's defense team. And there was something that we had completely missed. And these documents suggest that Tyler had already been Mirandized and was sitting in a police station to be interviewed at 6:25 p.m. on the 11th. And I'm going to show you that in the motion to exclude still photography. So they are making an argument as to why the media should not be trusted and they should not be allowed to come into the courts because they've lied about everything. And they talk about this moment. They are talking about a video that they have in evidence, and they're saying this timestamp at the 3-hour and 36-minute mark of the video, which shows you that it was 6:25 p.m. When this interview took place. They list this, 6:25 p.m. This is a police officer saying, "So Tyler, before we begin, I'm just going to read you your rights." And he says, "Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning begins. And if you decide to answer questions now, you can stop at any time. Okay, so are you good to proceed? Because I'd love to talk to you." And Tyler comes back and says, "I would like to speak with my legal counsel. I'm hoping for a fellow in Utah named Doug Terry." And he says, "Okay." And then Tyler says, "I told he's a pretty good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him, but I think his office is closed for the night." Okay? So it certainly sounds like this would have taken place during the evening that we know that Tyler was arrested. And I'll tell you why that's a very big deal if that was 6:25 p.m. on the 11th. Because if that conversation took place in that time frame, it completely collapses the federal narrative. So let's get to that timeline so you can take a look at this of what took place on the 11th. So much has transpired, it's hard to remember. On the 11th, at first, this was a suspect at large. The FBI had a press conference at 7 a.m. where they confirmed that they found the weapon in the woods. At 7:15, Tyler Robinson is captured on camera filling up his gas at the Maverick gas station in Cedar City. At 9:21 a.m., New York Post exclusively reveals the photo of a gun used in the shooting. But I also should say, this was not actually Tyler Robinson's gun. They're going to tell us it was a similar weapon, which is kind of interesting when you consider the text messages where he says, "My old man recognized the gun." It's really because it wasn't the gun. Weird. Anyways, that's when they also mentioned the fact that there were engravings on the bullets, because everybody's doing this now at shootings. They just engrave the bullets. At 9:48, the FBI Salt Lake City releases the static images. That's the now infamous images of the staircase that are way too blurry. They begin to circulate, and then we can kind of scroll down and you can see what we're told happens. And this is according to the messages, like the affidavits that the mother recognizes Tyler and calls him. Okay. But now let's go down to 5:30 p.m., okay? 5:30 p.m., Cash Patel and Dan Bongino arrive on the scene. At 6:17, the FBI Salt Lake City releases another round of photos of the alleged shooter on X. Photos of him, again, walking up the stairs. Tyler Robinson, I should say maybe here, was already in custody if this proves to be 6:25 p.m. on the 11th. Because in order for that interview to start, we should assume he arrived at the police station before 6:17 p.m. And his questioning begins there. Again, you can find this yourself in the motion to exclude still photography, which was filed on March 30th. I can't fathom that they would be referring to the next day because he was already in custody. He had already been booked, arrested. Are we supposed to believe they never tried to speak to him until 6:25 p.m. on the 12th? That doesn't feel right to me. But they have, it seems to me, gone through excruciating lengths to never include any timestamps in anything that they have presented to the public because they seem to be making this up as they go along. At 7 o'clock p.m., this is what we had initially. Our source informed us that it was around this time that everyone locally began receiving text messages. They had Tyler Robinson, that they were going to pick him up in Warner Valley, which was 12 miles away from St. George. And then we have Governor Cox at 8 o'clock p.m., which makes this very strange because if that's true, and I believe that my source was on the money when they said that they knew it was Tyler Robinson at 7. So whether they had him in custody or they were just texting about it, they knew that they had their guy. It makes it very strange that at 8 o'clock p.m., Governor Cox then leads a press conference with Kash Patel and Robert Bowles, the new FBI guy they had just put in place from D.C. They brought him over and put him into Utah. They're all saying, the guy's on the run. They released the video of the suspect. They released new stills. They say they're seeking help from the public to identify a suspect. That feels very strange if, in fact, they had Tyler Robinson and the police officers are all messaging each other saying, we've got the guy. Then we have Sheriff Brooksby, which we will get from a later press conference. He will say that that's when he received the phone call from Mike Mitchell, that Mike Mitchell tells him that he's trying to get Tyler Robinson to turn himself in. Everything starts getting weird. He says the phone call is less than 2 minutes, and then Sheriff Brooksby calls the Utah County Sheriff Mike Smith to tell him about the call that he just got from Mike Mitchell. They're all excited. They tell us at 9 o'clock that Tyler arrives at the police station. That's according to the press conference that is given by Sheriff Nate Brooksby. That's not going to track everything. Everything just falls apart. It almost feels like they're trying to fit it in to make it seem that it was in the 33rd hour that Tyler Robinson was booked. Kash Patel will later say that. They're all saying in the 33rd hour. This feels entirely fictitious to me. I have said I feel like they just wanted to say 33 hours because it seems to me like they were signaling to one another. 33. Yes, that stuff exists. Yes, Freemasonry exists. Yes, this exists globally. We just proved that a couple of weeks ago. Brandt's assassin squads tied to Freemasonry. So we can stop pretending that that's a figment of anyone's imagination, least of all mine. Something that Blake Neff was coming apart about. You think there's, symbolism with 30. Yes, I know that there is symbolism. That symbolism is crucial to Freemasonry. I know that Freemasonic gangs exist and they carry out hits and they murder people. And if you don't know that, I would be pretty surprised, Blake. You wouldn't be so angry if you didn't know that. At 10:26, the search warrant states that Tyler Robinson arrived at Washington County Sheriff's Office with his parents, so we already have this disparity. It's good to see these timelines because once you start plotting it, you're like, wait a second. So why did Sheriff Brooksby tell us that he arrived at 9? Now we hear that he arrived at 10:26, and by the way, the tape is apparently lost of when he arrived. Right? The fact that, and I don't know if that's been updated since, but the fact that we are told that the video footage, I believe the local Utah press attempted to get the video footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself in or walking into the police station, they were unable to secure that footage, strikes me as extraordinarily odd. But if you are tracking what is being implied here, that they're lying about everything, then they would have to remove that footage. Now, they didn't say it was deleted. They said it wasn't in their custody. They're kind of never really saying anything assertively. because they're making it up as they go along. But it certainly strikes me as plausible, at least plausible, very plausible, that Tyler was already in the police station and they just didn't want to say anything until the 33rd hour. So yeah, I find all of that very interesting. And something also to remind you of is how many times they lied early on. You may have forgotten, but Governor Cox also initially told us that the messages were on Discord when they first came out. Then they changed and they said, oh, those messages that we released, they weren't on Discord, they were on iMessage. No, that's another federal change. You can listen to him say in the initial press conference, we got him, 33 hours, see you in Valhalla. You can hear Governor Cox say that the text messages were found on Discord. Take a listen.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
He said Discord. We understood Discord. We all said Discord. But then what happened was Discord themselves came out immediately and said that wasn't true. Discord gave a statement. On September 12th, they published that statement in the Hill, and they said, we are deeply saddened by this tragedy. We extend our condolences to the Kirk family and everyone affected. The Discord person said in a statement, in the course of our investigation, we identified a Discord account associated with the suspect, but have found no evidence the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord. So they suddenly changed their minds and they said, no, this was happening via iMessage. That wasn't a mistake. He's reading from a piece of paper. He's reading from a piece of paper, and then the feds got caught lying, and then they altered things, and they said, we always said that it was iMessages. And here's something else that's super interesting that I want to point out to you, is that, Ashley, you said that in their filing, they are saying they're not going to use or present the forensic messages, right? So they're alleging they took pictures of Lance's phone of this text exchange when they brought Lance in. And they're going to show those pictures during the trial, but they're not going to actually show the forensic messages, which they would get, I'm assuming, from Apple or maybe T-Mobile or whatever. That is very strange. Okay, this actually gets to the heart of exactly what the defense has been saying. They are saying they have all this evidence, but they are not supplying us with anything concrete. We can't see the chain of custody. We can't see where the message was created. If I give you a picture and I say, this is me texting with so-and-so, I took a picture on my phone, why would you take that and accept that that's reality? Especially when your life is on the line. No, you need the forensic messages. You need the custodial chain. You need to be able to see exactly when this message was created, and they're trying to get that. They're in discovery. They're not getting what they're asking for, and now the prosecution is explicitly saying we don't even plan to use the forensic text messages that we took of Lance's phone. Huh? What do you mean you don't plan to use those? What is the exact verbiage? Do we have that, Ashley, of what they said and where that was filed? I know you texted it to me and I should have pulled that up and had that ready, but that's completely crazy. This is the game. They want to put on a show trial and say, well, here's the picture of Lance's phone. Lance, to me, is very obviously a federal informant. He's working for and on behalf of the feds. He would be the perfect person to set up Tyler Robinson. And don't forget, I had communication with Lance's family early on. They said to me it was completely insane that Lance was not taken into custody. It was completely insane that he was basically there for a couple of hours and then released back at home, that he has real issues, that, you know, he has a bend toward violence. They talked about, I communicated this to you guys early on, the things that would go on as he was raised, how they eventually had to kick him out of the house. They own the house that Tyler Robinson and Lance live in, and they are telling you that the relationship between Lance and the feds is unnatural. I presented that to you. Lance's own family is saying that. Now, their number one claim to we have evidence is Lance Twiggs, but we don't know anything about Lance Twiggs. He seems to have just completely disappeared. That, to me, reads like a federal asset. Lance, that's your roommate, okay? Maybe you, I'm giving you an example here. I'm not saying this is what happened, but maybe they catch Lance on a website, kind of like George Zinn, right? You got blackmailed. Here's what you're gonna do. You don't want to go to prison. You don't want to go to prison for this. Here's what you're gonna do. Your roommate, you're gonna get his gun. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. We're gonna be in his room. We're gonna say that he was into trans fed stuff, or fetish, whatever it is. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this. That is how the feds can turn somebody into an asset. The Lance Twiggs element of this makes no sense. I cannot stress that enough. Here is the verbiage of what the prosecution is saying about how they plan to use the messages. You can pull that up. With the exception of a photograph of a burnt note, which was provided on January 9th, doorbell surveillance from a single property, a DNA report regarding items found in the defendant's apartment, and tool marks report, each of the witnesses and exhibits have been known to the defense for at least 6 months before the preliminary hearing. Most of the evidence to be presented at the preliminary hearing, including the DNA report regarding the rifle found at the scene, was provided to the defense in October of 2025. The state does not intend to offer evidence obtained through forensic extractions of electronics seized in this case. So again, getting up to this preliminary hearing, this is why Tyler Robinson's defense was up in arms. They're like, they're just going to put on a show trial and show you guys pictures, but we can't prove whether or not these messages are real. And they're admitting, we do not intend to offer evidence obtained through forensic extractions of electronics seized in this case. It does, however, intend to offer 2 exhibits, which used cameras to record the contents of text messages. So we're going to show you our recording of Lance's phone, but we're not going to present any forensic evidence that what we showed you is real. This is unbelievably problematic. It's a setup, okay? This is a setup. Tyler is a patsy. I maintain that. And they're not going to get away with it, because I will read through every doc and I will find everything. I will organize it. I will do timelines. You just don't get to assassinate Charlie Kirk in broad daylight and create Charlie GPT to try to make us forget about it and think that I'm not going to be on your case. It doesn't work like that. Anyway, I think we are we are over time, and I did not even get to Trump going after the Pope. Okay, we'll take a brief break and we'll be right back. Sorry guys, I just think that we are. All right, you guys, have you heard about this $17 million fraud scheme that targets elderly homes in Los Angeles? A ring of 11 people, including 2 foreign nationals, used fraudulent identities and public title records to forge documents and take out loans against these LA properties, and the homeowners did not know anything about it. Despite multiple arrests, the homeowners are left to clean up the legal and financial nightmare. So if you are a homeowner without protection in place, this could be you. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock. You can find out today if you are already a victim and protect yourself or your loved ones against this growing crime. Visit HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code Candace to get a free title history report plus a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if you are a victim of fraud, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. So don't wait. Visit HomeTitleLock.com and use promo code Candace, or you can use the link below. Also want to remind you guys about American financing, because between groceries, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you should know that you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered telling him the truth. The Catholic perspective.
Do I need to bag back? Hey, me, thank you.
Because it is, obviously. Okay, you can't just decide that you want to take things
Do
for
I need to
Iran,
bag back?
or rather, not decide, but BB tells you you're going to take things for Iran, and then you just do it and you put American lives at risk. It's unjust. Even honestly, if you remove Catholicism, it's just unjust. Alerts, and if you are a victim of fraud, they will keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out if you qualify, so call American Financing
Me,
today
I know that.
at
Okay, what am I miss?
800-795-1210. Again, that's 800-795-1210.
Do I need to back up?
Or visit americanfinancing.net
What time is it?
/Owens. Again,
Hold
that's
on.
americanfinancing.net /Owens. I don't want to rush through the Pope segment, so I'm almost thinking I should bump it to tomorrow. I mean, you guys obviously know my perspective. Trump is very clearly under demonic influence. I think Paula White probably put a spell on him of some sort. I mean, he is surrounded by, ironically, the very thing that he accuses me, Meghan and Tucker, of being, because we're calling for peace. We're calling for peace, and he's like, these people are nut jobs. And then he has people like Laura Loomer, who has been forcibly placed on Site 5150 holds as his #1 advisor. She's like, I'm advising him. You've got Paula White, who's telling him he's akin to Jesus Christ, which is absolutely blasphemous. And he thinks these people are totally sane. Again, very scary to be that far in the cave. He is so in the cave. He is so convinced of his own invincibility. It is completely unhinged that he was deeply upset by the Pope telling him the truth. The Catholic perspective is that this is an unjust war, because it is, obviously. Okay, you can't just decide that you want to take things from Iran, or rather, not decide, but Bibi tells you you're going to take things from Iran, and then you just do it, and you put American lives at risk. It's unjust. Even honestly, if you remove Catholicism, it's just unjust in general. It's morally contemptible what you are doing in the Middle East. Okay, and forget the part that you went against every single one of your promises, betrayed your base, betrayed the people that were out there trying to get votes for you, betrayed the CHARLIEKIRK, you betrayed Becky Kelly, you betrayed Tucker Carlson, you betrayed me.
You betrayed the majority of the people who pushed
less. I am
your
very
movement.
happy to die with my soul intact. And now you have him just swinging at the Pope. Swinging at the Pope. This is what he said on X, and his excuse is amazing. He said, Pope Leo is weak on crime. Like, this is not we're not talking about Hillary Clinton, okay? He's talking about the Pope. He's not running against the Pope. Pope Leo is weak on crime, terrible for foreign policy. He talks about fear of the Trump administration. He doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID. What? When they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else. Why would he talk about that? That's not happening right now.
And it was you and your boys, Epstein and Gates.
He goes on. I like his brother.
Who put that together?
Than I like him. Oh, okay. Because Lewis is all MAGA. He gets it, and Leo doesn't. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon for the last 25 years.
Do we understand that the natural sources that they trying to stop Iran been having? They not new to this. So if they wanted to, they could have. Y'all just want it. Y'all want to be able to sneak attack them and them not get your ass back. That's just all it is to it. Let me stop. Hold on. I've said this once and I'm going to say it again. They are trying to do a sneak attack on some. Oh, Paula White, that hooker bait there. Listen, thank you for the ball. Thank you, Kyril. Thank you, I greatly appreciate it. This natural source to be able to create this nuclear bombs. Newsflash, Iran has been able, they've had that capability long before Trump even, it's natural. That's why they want it. And they want to be able to steal, kill, and destroy. They want to be able to do their own nuclear atomic dog. Bow wow wow. You know, they want to bow wow wow them, sneak attack, and them not be able to build a nuclear weapon to blast their ass back or off. You know? So that's why y'all want to sucker them out of their weapons for the devil. Cause he knows that they can end this shit. So why now? Bush said, nah, I'm gonna leave that alone. Obama said, nah, I'm going to pass, but let me work something out with you. His first go around, he didn't say nothing about what Iran could not have. Why did he not push this issue his first go around? Can anybody tell me that? Why is he going to the extreme now when he didn't go to that extreme before? Oh, he was supposed to do that second go around because he was supposed to have a second term. And when he lost and he did the January 6th, I can't go. I got stuff I got to do. So we, take over, don't let, no. He put up a fuss. But this Iran issue was never an issue his first term. Why? Why now? Because, they done gave him $100 million. He made a deal with the devil. So now it's the must. Because in order for us to really get to this new world order, they cannot have a nuclear weapon because they will blow us apart. They'll shut that shit down like they do in Israel. So that deal is not about for us. It's not to protect the U.S. It's to protect his investment. Let's be clear. They will be having all type of articles saying, well, yeah, when he was in office the first time, he was saying this, that. Nope. He tore it up his first term and did nothing. He messed up Obamacare. Oh, I can do better than this. And did nothing. And then now this term, you see the bullshit we got. It's never about us. Never. Hey, Cooley. And that's how it blows my mind that people still believing and trusting in the things that this man has said. It has never been about us. It's always about his investments. And what Iran can do, they've been able to do. They've been able to do. It's the natural sources. But you and your homeboy who is going to be the one who fuck you over, the one that's going to backdoor you, because the Mossad is who going to take him out, y'all. See, they not going to miss. So all that my Earl mess that was staged, yeah, when they come after him, they going to get him for real. The nuclear weapon is, man, they getting too close to the Epstein files. It's about to blow up. It's about to wipe me off the face of the motherfucking earth. Yeah. The nuclear weapon. And on top of that, they know about all my secrets. They done tapped into the White House emails. Come on, drama. Yeah. And I don't know what to do. Nobody wants to be my friend. We don't have no help. Really, on the cool, Israel ain't helping. They want me to repay all the money I received for them by doing exactly what they say. America, America. If I had a choice, I would not be in this war. America, America. Bibi Netanyahu is forcing me to do it because not only did he give me $100 million, he got all the tapes and all the Epstein shit too. I'm on a boat without a paddle, so I might as well blow up everybody else. That's where you at, y'all. Let me stop. I'm finna go into a preach. Preach, preacher. Say that. Let her finish so I can get really. Because right after this one, I just set it up. We going straight into, oh boy, Playing with the Pope. He don't know the value. He don't know. You too busy playing with that devil. You don't forgot about this devil over here. You forgot where all the Rothschilds and all the foreign, all of this, and all of that, there. The underground deep down off in there, up under the churches, the human child trafficking. You don't know nothing about that. So I suggest you leave the Pope alone. Because he do. He got more power on earth than you. You understand? Yeah, I'm talking about on the dark side. Where you think it stems from? Why you think all them preachers, not preachers, archdioceses and all the, Holy Mary, orphanages and shit deep down up under 5 levels down up under the church and shit, trafficking. Where you think it stem from? Where you think all of them CPSs and Amber Alerts and Boys Club and all of that? I'm going too deep off in there. I don't know where you think it stem from. They had the elite had everybody thinking it was the Pope who was doing it. And all along, the mass majority of the crimes and shit, the trafficking, the drugs, and all of that is coming from the elite. Huh? All those planes on a mission. F-15 was shot at. They don't want to talk about that. Cooley, shout out to Cooley. Cooley, me and Cooley go way back. We go a long way back. On these YouTube streets. Why they not talking about them other folk? Y'all know that Iran have hostages, and when they started letting some of the hostages go, they was letting go of the black ones. Did y'all know that? They don't want to talk about that, do they? What time is it? They don't want to talk about that, do they? That's too deep. Oh, well, Lord. Let's finish this up so I can show y'all some stuff. Let's go. Hit the like button.
Blasphemous. And he thinks these people are totally sane. Again, very scary to be that far in the cave. Alerts, and if you are a victim of fraud, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. As mortgage rate. Well, that's why American financing fees to find out if you qualify. So call up to tomorrow. I mean, you guys obviously know my perspective. Trump is very
billionaire club.
Demonic influence. I think
billionaire Lil Peter
of some sort.
Club.
I mean,
women are predators too.
Ironically, the very thing that he accuses me, Meghan, and Tucker of being, because we're calling for peace. And he's like, these people are nut jobs. And then he has people like Laura Loomer, who has been forcibly placed on Site 5150 holds as his #1 advisor. She's like, I'm advising him. We've got Paula White, who's telling him he's akin to Jesus Christ, which is absolutely blasphemous. And he thinks these people are totally sane. Again, very scary.
Anybody that go along.
He is so in the cave. He is so convinced of his own invincibility.
But Bibi Netanyahu said he was going to go through the mega churches.
Unhinged that he was deeply upset by the Pope telling him the truth. The Catholic perspective is that this is an unjust war, because it is, obviously. Okay, you can't just decide that you want to take things from Iran, or rather, not decide, but Bibi tells you you're going to take things from Iran, and then you just do it and you put American lives at risk. It's unjust. Even honestly, if you remove Catholicism, it's just unjust in general. It's morally contemptible what you are doing in the Middle East. Okay, and forget the part that you went against every single one of your promises, betrayed your base, betrayed the people that were out there trying to get votes for you, betrayed the CHARLIEKIRK, you betrayed Becky Kelly, you betrayed Tucker Carlson, you betrayed me. I just, so you know, could not care less. I am very happy to die with my soul intact. And now you have him just swinging at the Pope. Swinging at the Pope. This is what he said on X, and his excuse is amazing. He said, Pope Leo is weak on crime. Like, this is not a tweet. We're not talking about Hillary Clinton, okay? He's talking about the Pope. He's not running against the Pope. Pope Leo is weak on crime, terrible for foreign policy. He talks about fear of the Trump administration, but doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID. What? When they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else. Why would he talk about that? That's not happening right now. What? He wants me to get into a time machine and talk about what's going on in 2021. Okay.
Well, what about
He
his
goes on.
friends creating
I like his brother Louis
the
much better,
cocktail,
and I like him. Oh, okay.
the COVID
Louis
cocktail
all MAGA.
to take out people? What about that?
I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, you don't want Iran to be able to burn the fingers of the
Terrible
thieves.
that America attacked Venezuela, a country that was sending massive amounts of drugs into the United States and even worse, emptying their prisons, including murderers, drug dealers, and killers into our country. And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide to do, setting record low numbers in crime.
That man is sick in the head.
The greatest stock market in history. Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He was not on any list to be pope and was only put there by the church because he was an American, and they thought that that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. I'm sorry. What? Look, I'm not here to pretend that I'm a theologian, that I've been Catholic for a long time, but is that what goes on at Conclave? Do the cardinals arrive and they go, oh, well, we were going to do our thing, but like what really matters is Trump's president, and we want to make sure that we can deal with Trump, so we're just going to make somebody from Chicago. That feels like the right thing. He's got a Trump Tower in Chicago. Like, is that what he thinks happened? That he had all of these cardinals arrive, and this was the discussion as people waited for white smoke outside, that is what was happening.
Or was they trying to get away from the...
not be that narcissistic.
The regular Romans and the foreign country Vatican.
I think that's what Laura
and trying to get somebody from the U.S.
She him and she's telling
I
him,
mean,
she's
well,
like,
it's deeper than that. It's deeper than you, Trump. Believe that.
It wasn't for you. She's like been very borderline lately. Like she's like feels like she should probably be put on another hold, but like she's still out there tweeting crazy things. And I feel like that's what Paula White said to him, like in a couple of her blasphemous prayers of like, she's like, hey, the Catholic Church should thank you for Pope Leo the 14th. What? Is everybody okay? No one around him is okay. And I'm making fun of it, but I want to be clear that he is truly, and I do not say this
sick in the head.
Extra, I do not say this to be performative, he is truly under demonic influence. You see that in the prayers, and you know, I have to say respectfully, it was definitely something which I am hopeful, and please forgive me if I'm out of line here, but I'm hopeful that more cardinals, more princes of the church will speak out against the role that some of our bishops have had in this. I think some of them have gone too political. Bishop Barron standing beside Paula White during that prayer, and his excuse is why I was there. Well, then you should make a statement after and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. I didn't mean to be, I didn't know what she was going to say when she prayed, but what she said was wrong, and it was blasphemous. And no, Trump, this is Easter, and Trump has nothing to do.
Y'all remember when I was talking to Trump, and I would be talking to him about, you know, you say that there's nothing that you can do to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now, unless you have blasphemed against the Holy Spirit. That's the only unforgivable sin. Now they treaded. I mean, they swimming on the blaspheme boat, ain't they? They are swimming inside that boat. This is what happens when people allow you to get away with stuff or feed into your, if I keep saying it, I'm gonna make it come true. Like he God or something. Like he can change the rules and terms of righteousness and allow him to do that type stuff without putting a stop to it and telling him a foolishness. Hold the fool for a long time, y'all. Foolishness. You know, because you know we ain't supposed to call them fools. But he ain't said we couldn't call them foolish. Or foolishness. Yeah. And this is just what this is reminding me. It's like, are y'all creating these storylines based off of some of the craziest, the truthful craziness? Because I said this about him, unless you done blasphemed against the Holy Spirit. There's still hope for you. Trying to get him to give his life to Christ. But he done put on the role today of that of God. All because now, because we can't forget that we are here because he's scared of them Epstein files. He done played with the Holy Spirit. He done played with these kids. He done played a serious demonic game. And now you don't want to face the fire. But the fire, that's your middle name. Donald Fire, Devilish Trump. We are here. Dumb to the dunce. Because of them files that's in your head. And that medication and Epstein. Your best friend. Your only friend. Yeah, so now you think you God. Okay. Hold your mule, man. We're going to be on you in this God and you playing with the Pope. And I don't know who you think the Pope gangster. I don't know where you think the root of the Illuminati come from. Oh, but I'm going to leave that alone for now. Let's go. Let's go.
Nothing like Jesus Christ. In fact, Trump is not even a Christian. And so
how many times I keep trying to tell y'all that he done sold his soul to the devil.
The Catholic Church should step in a really big way. I think there are too many TV bishops, too many TV. But what she said was wrong, bishops. And it was blasphemous. And no, Trump. This is Easter, and Trump has nothing to do. He is nothing.
Did
like
she say
Jesus
titty?
Christ.
What?
In fact, Trump is not even a Christian. And so there is a role here that I think the Catholic Church should step in a really big way. I think there are too many TV bishops, too many. Is she saying titty or titty? Nothing to do. He is nothing like Jesus Christ. In fact, Trump is not even a Christian. And so there is a role here that I think something.
Now, in all fairness, he did tell us he was not a Christian. When he wanted to vote, do y'all remember? He was like, Christians, we need you to vote, Christians. I'm not Christian. We need you to vote. This will be the last time you will have to vote. Christians. And he was at Turning Point USA podium with Charliekirk now. He said he needs your vote. He not a Christian. Yeah, but we finna eliminate. He didn't say that, but in the gist of it is we finna eliminate it. We finna switch this up. We just need y'all to vote. We gonna take your vote and then turn y'all out. So he has said that he's not Christian. So don't nobody come back saying Candace is lying. We the tea sippers, we already know this. Right, tea sippers? This ain't nothing new to us. We've been doing this a long time ago. Let's go.
Which I am hopeful, and please forgive me if I'm out of line here, but I'm hopeful that more cardinals, more princes of the church will speak out against the role that some of our bishops have had in this. I think some of them have gone too political. Bishop Barron standing beside Paula White during that prayer, and his excuse is why I was there. Well, then you should make a statement after and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. I didn't mean to be. I didn't know what she was going to say when she prayed, but what she said was wrong, and it was blasphemous. And no, Trump. This is Easter, and Trump has nothing to do. He is nothing like Jesus Christ. In fact, Trump is not even a Christian. And so there is a role here.
He's a Christian Zionist.
I think the Catholic Church should step in a really big way. I think there are too many TV bishops, too many TV pastors, too many people that have turned, what it means to be a Christian into reality TV. Frankly, you can wear the clerical robes and be presenting yourself as something totally different. There needs to be and there has been thus far, a very severe reaction, just all across the faith. Everybody, every Catholic bishop, every Catholic cardinal, but Catholics in general, you can't support Trump. You cannot support Trump in this moment. And I have to say, His Holiness was very precise in how he responded to the attacks. If we could just pull up that video of what he had to say. Take a listen.
I basically said that the message of the church, my message, the message of the gospel, blessed are the peace. I do not look at my role as being a political politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be used in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loud against.
Pope say he ain't scared of Trump.
Video of what he had to say. Take a listen.
I basically said that the message of the church, my message, the message of the gospel, blessed are the peace. I do not look at my role as being a political politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be used in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loud against war, promote peace, promoting dialogue and multilateral relationships among the states to look for just solutions to problems. Too many people are suffering in the world today. Too many innocent people are being killed. And I think someone has to stand up and say there's a better way to do this.
Now let's cut to what Trump had to say when he was asked about why he attacked the Pope. Take a listen.
Why did you attack Pope Leo like so?
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess.
You're the criminal.
He hit us. Think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear
There
when
go them hands.
the ministers and the priests and all of those...
And the president. You are a criminal. Why no one calls him out when he says stuff like this, sir? You have 34 sexual crimes, convictions. I mean, you say he hates criminals. You are a criminal. Why they allow him to get away with that and not bringing it back to him? Sir, you being a hypocrite. You are a criminal. How dare you? He's saying stop the crimes, including you. You're a war criminal and you're already a convicted felon. This is why it was never a good idea to put him in the highest position in the U.S. He's a convicted felon. Call his ass out. And when he said, who are you with? I'm with myself. You're a fake news. No, you're a fake president. You can't even run your office. You can't even run your fat ass to McDonald's and get you a Big Mac. A Happy Meal. You just trying to eat. You want it from the places where they don't unalive somebody and you want they protein. Yeah, I'm talking to you. See, that's how you got to talk to. Well, who you with? Who you with? You out on the damn golf course running a staging or somebody to run up on you like you all of that. Like you Morris Chestnut, some damn body. Like you Ghost. Yeah, now. Huh? Yeah, now. That's not. Well, you have folk running up to you in security with these special made futuristic type weapons. Cause your ass so scary. Yeah, now y'all better start calling him out. He, the Pope, hate criminals. No, you the criminal. We hate you. Yeah, that's the truth. Call his ass out. Call a spade a spade. And then you're going to say, how dare you? No, how dare you?
Leo likes so.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess.
No, you're not doing a great job.
Yes, think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID?
You talking about Paula White? What's that other? What was your other advisor in South Lake that just got out of prison? Wasn't in there? It didn't feel like 10 damn days. They invited the evangelist at that time into their home, and he took advantage of that girl. Yeah. So what ministry? Your partners? You talking about your partners? Because every time we turn around, we see through some churches of MAGA supporters, your partners, being arrested for playing with kids. Yeah, y'all better start calling these people out. I'm sick of this.
In many cases, they're outside 10 feet apart, and they were arrested. So
your partners, and you let them out.
Pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our city.
You are crime.
I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
Guess what? He's literally trying to stop crime because what you are doing in the Middle East is criminal. Everybody is telling you that. You've lost a large portion.
And it ain't Iran who say that they can wipe the whole world. That's China. I ain't heard Iran brag like that, but I have heard China put your ass in place. Put you in check. When you say, who gonna check me, boo? China. China. Yeah. And they telling you in your face. Trying to find, yeah, they done told you in your face, we are supplying them the weapons. So back the fuck up. Before I blow you up. Iran said we was in peace deals twice, and you betrayed the conversation of peace. Because Bibi Netanyahu don't want peace. And China got their back. But you ain't punk facing in front of China. You ain't talking that stupid shit in front of China. Yeah. You want to blame them. So what you think China gonna do? You just want to steal their shit. You know they was about peace. Y'all been lying on Iran for years. There was peace in place until you came in. You tore it up because it had Obama's signature on it. Now, if you really want peace, yeah, ask Obama nicely. Call on Obama. Yeah. The one who was the president that was really about equality and safety for all. Yeah, if you really want us to believe that you are about peace in the Middle East, tap on the shoulder of Obama and humble yourself to the chosen skin tone. Yeah. Humble yourself to the one who was able to get it done. Respectfully. Now, go ahead.
Of your base, you have lost Baha, you've lost Megyn Kelly, you've lost B, you've lost Alex Jones. You've
lost his mind.
That's just in terms of the commentariat, if you will. And you refuse to see reality. You just refuse to see reality. You're so convinced that you can just drop another tweet, and of course he then dropped a picture of himself as Jesus Christ on top of that, and got even backlash from the Protestants who said this is completely inappropriate. And his response, this is the image, by the way, if you have not seen it, obviously, healing the sick. And
the sick is Epstein. Touching the hem. Oh my God. It's not. It's just cray. But I got it. Yeah, oh my God. How can the sick heal the sick? Who do you think you are? Satan, you a lie. That's why I gotta put the dunce hat on you, cause you done with it, man. I can't. With you, when I come back live, we gon' healing the sick with some pills. That's the one I'm gonna show for now. Healing the sick, yeah. Yeah, with a bottle of medicine. Yeah, but let him know that that medicine, that concoction came from Fauci and old, what's his name, Bill Gates. Yeah. So it's the code 19, code 26. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we talking about. Hey, room shake. Hey. Yeah. 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 You trying to act like you healing somebody. You know, you not God, you the devil. Yeah, and that bottle right there, all that laying hands, you ain't laying hands on nothing. You don't have that type of power. Again, these folks who was stroking his ego, loving on this big old red orange troll, buying into, oh well, he the only president that say he's the devil. He has made deals with the devil. He is not y'all friend. And he done led y'all to believe he was. Well, he the only president that say whatever he want. He ain't saying shit. He plotting with the folk that's finna take your ass out. Oh yeah, he don't, I don't know if he don't quite upped up enough. But I'm telling y'all who gonna take his ass out is the Mossad. It's gonna be the Mossad. He pissing off the Mossad. They the ones that don't want no peace deals. Yeah, and now, again, I'm going to say like my mama used to always say, and I never understood what it meant. Yeah, until it start affecting them. It's the only time we going to see some change and some removal of people. He done went too far. Yeah, and that's why he's scared. Let me show y'all this man on the golf course with the gun that this other man had before I go. I'm coming back on a Trump live. But yeah, let me show y'all this before we go. Yeah, it's 11:50. And the next live is set up. So soon as I, oh man, I hear anonymous, this, oh now what you said was they hid it. That's not very shit. That's Epstein juice. Let me show you. I got another live that's going to be right after this one. It's going into Trump. How dare this clown. But let me show y'all this big old gun that this man had. What is this? Wait, did they just peel his cap back? Oh, wow. This is why I never played with Trump. I never played with him. Oh, wow. These people are funny, baby. And I don't know why I be catching it. They say is this Christina? Oh, Lord, Christina. She said the back of his head is the opening up of the Strait of Hamas. She knows she ought to be ashamed of herself. She ought to be ashamed of herself. But I gotta show my T-sippers. She said the back of his head is the Strait. That we is the Strait of Hamas.
Response.
Hold up, Candace.
To dropping that.
I know. Hold up. I got to.
He didn't realize that was supposed to be Jesus.
Girl.
And he thought that the AI image was suggesting that he is
Hold
a healer
on,
and
girl.
a doctor.
A healer. A doctor. He can't heal himself.
That's his excuse.
If he can't heal the sickness in his head,
disrespectful to
Lord, I can't stop this girl from talking.
I'm sorry. This AI image was not appropriate. It went out. People were not thinking.
Hold on, y'all. I can't stop Candace. She tried to get her point across. So how can he be a doctor? He can't even heal the own sickness in his head. How dare you? Until you can heal yourself, you can't heal me. Why did she say this is the Strait of Hamas? He was parting the sea like Moses. Hold on, let me get to where this gun this guy had. Boy, I tell you, I be this mess right here. Let me cut the volume up. Let me cut. Look at the gun on this man. What type of futuristic bull crap is this? Trying to cut the volume up.
Taking
Yeah, what type of gun is this? And I hope they know that he like boys too. Last time we
So
seen,
while you're sending your children off to die in
yeah.
some third world hellhole called Israel, President Trump is rolling around on the golf course, taking
Look at that gun. Look at that on the golf course. And then you got some little kitty jumping up like she cheering. You know, like he ghosts. Power or some damn place. Morris Chestnut. You know. L Cool. You know. Oh, what's the other guy name? Gates. And his last name Gates too, the rapper. Like he fine like that there.
photos with what would be presumably a Epstein victim. Okay?
Epstein victim. So y'all know what that means. Let me get up off. Y'all know what that means, right? He's saying Epstein victim. So that means that this would be one of the little girls that has been groomed and brought on up to be a part of their elite, you know, organized crime that they have in position to assist him in his daily tasks now. Like hint, Pam Bondi was. Like hint, that Laura Loomer and all them folk. But carry on.
You can see how this man acts. He's a predator, and this is absolutely disgusting. The man's... So while you're sending your children off to die in some third world hellhole called Israel, President Trump is rolling around on the golf course.
Why is this man walking around the golf course like this?
Photos with what would be presumably a Epstein victim. Okay? You can see how this man acts. He's a predator, and this is absolutely disgusting. The man's playing golf while we are bringing our sons and daughters home in body bags. What an absolute dirtbag.
She's a great kid. Great kid. Look at her. You want a picture? Come on over here. Is she in good shape or what?
So while you're sending your children off
I mean,
to die
yanked
in some
her
third
on to
world
him,
hellhole
didn't
called
she?
Israel,
Didn't
President
he?
Trump is rolling
Look at
around
that
on the
gun,
golf
y'all.
course, taking
That's how
photos
scared
with
he
what
is.
would be presumably
Like I said,
a
it's gonna be a
Epstein victim.
Mossad.
Okay, you can see how this man
It's gonna
acts.
be
He's
a
predator,
listen.
and this is
Oh
absolutely
boy, on that
disgusting.
golf course
The
with
man's
him with
playing
that
golf
whatever type of gun that is.
while we are bringing our sons
That
and daughters
is
home in
not.
body bags. What an absolute dirtbag.
That is not for the Taliban. That is not for a missile. You understand? That ain't for nobody in some foreign country. That's because of a threat here. You understand? The threat is near thee. He's scared on his own turf. You understand? Body language directing to belt buckle. Let's finish off with Candace. I just wanted y'all to see the weapon of mass destruction that he is afraid of. You understand? Him scared. Him scared of something local. Not... Well, let me finish this up because it's finna be midnight and I gotta get to the next live.
Take a listen.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one.
The Red Cross.
I had.
That's why he had on the red jacket.
And I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
He thought he was a Red Cross doctor. That's why he posted it, because like obviously he was What year was that, Ashley? He was a doctor, Skylar? I'm sorry, I need to produce note. Can we ask Charlie GPT? Okay,
Dr.
when did
Trump.
he-
Now here, doctor.
It's not coming up for us that Trump was ever a doctor, so I don't know why he would feel that the image was relating to him as a doctor.
He can't
for
even
Red
heal
Cross
his own
filling the sick.
sickness.
That seems, and wearing that particular getup doesn't feel to me like he was a Red Cross doctor. But that's the slop we're getting. It's been a sloppy year, my friends. It's been a fetty sloppy year. And so we're just gonna keep getting it. We're just gonna keep getting it. Anyways, let's get to some comments before I leave. We have Kimberly Wood. These are the top comments from last episode. Kimberly Wood writes, Charlie died free. You will die a slave. Quoting me. That hit hard, man. It is the reality. Slavery is a choice. And people laughed when Kanye said that, but I hope people aren't laughing anymore, because to have those restrictions, to do those things, and
Okay, y'all, I'm finna end this live.
What is all the wealth
And I am going to, I want y'all to hit where it's going to say, go now, go now.
Next question wrote, Candace has presented more evidence that Brigitte